Welcome to the fantasy audiobook, Immortal Cultivation, Two-World Traveler with Many Children and Many Blessings. Chapter 81. Throughout the conversation, Lian Rong frowned. Although the Feng family's qi and blood pills are of great help to him, he is not young anymore. He may have a chance to break through the heaven grade, but it is almost impossible to take another step forward and break through the innate. However, for some young martial artists, it is almost foreseeable that there will definitely be many innate martial artists in the future. And the most important thing is that among the 3 generations of the Lin family, there are not many people at all, and there are even fewer who have the talent for martial arts. The decline of the Lin family is only a matter of time. Lian Rong, go back and tell Lin Shangqian not to worry about the qi and blood pill. If someone wants to deal with the Lin family, I will take action. You just need to study the Zuyan pill with peace of mind. Yi Mo poured a cup of tea for Lian Rong, sat on the chair and drank it by himself. Yi Mo, can you tell me who is standing behind you? Lian Rong looked at Yi Mo's indifferent expression, still a little unpredictable. At first, he guessed that Yi Mo was from the 4 major sects. He personally asked Yi Mo last time, but Yi Mo denied it. And what puzzled him the most was that Yi Mo didn't seem to know anything about such a big thing happening in the Feng family. Where had Yi Mo been in the past 3 months? It doesn't matter. As long as Lin Shangqian does what I say, I guarantee that the Lin family can stand firm in Yangcheng. Yi Mo stood up, pretended to be in front of the closet, and then took out 30 copies of the beauty-resisting pill herb. Give these herbs to Lin Xiangyang and tell him that if he develops the beauty-resisting pill, I will ensure that he breaks through innate. This. Lian Rong looked surprised. Even Shang Yang was over 60 years old. It would be almost impossible to break through innate. Yi Mo didn't say anything more. Finally, Lian Rong took the spiritual grass and left the room with a puzzled look on his face. After Lian Rong left, Yi Mo summoned the system and asked, "What's going on? Isn't the spiritual energy really revived?" System. No, Blue Star Spirit Vein is still a pool of stagnant water. Yi Mo, what's going on with the qi and blood pill? System. Don't ask me, I haven't even seen the qi and blood pill, how do I know what's going on? Yi Mo, haha. Yi Mo didn't bother to ask any more. Anyway, more martial artists would have no impact on him. It's more important to do the right thing. When they came to Liu Baijian's room, they had a meal together. Then Liu Baijian started practicing. Yi Mo then drove to Oriental Wadu. While eating just now, Yi Mo secretly sent a message to Zhou Ruolin that Yang Lan was back. It's time to plant seeds. On the way, Yi Mo called Zhou Ruolin and said he would be there in a few minutes. At this time, Zhou Ruolin was breastfeeding her daughter. Zhou Ruolin gave birth to a daughter, who is almost 1 month old now. Xiao Xuanxuan, Daddy is coming to see you later. Are you happy? Yi Mo's daughter's name is Yi Zhuxuan, and the 2 of them got up early in the morning. Yi Zhuxuan, who was only a few days old, could not understand what her mother was saying. She felt full, closed her eyes, and fell asleep quickly. Zhou Ruolin put her down gently, then quietly left the room. As soon as she opened the door, she saw Yang Lan standing at the door. Yang Lan had made a breakthrough in qi training early in the morning, and Yi Mo and Zhou Ruolin had heard the phone call just now. She was visibly uneasy at the moment. Is Yi Mo coming? Yang Lan looked at Zhou Ruolin nervously. Well, we'll be here soon, Lan, don't be nervous, you will know how powerful your husband is later. Zhou Ruolin blinked and teased. I'm not worried about this, I'm worried that Yi Mo can't accept Xiaoxin. Xiaoxin is Yang Lan's daughter, and she is only 2 years old now. Yang Lan has been worried about this matter these days. You think too much. If your husband can't accept it, no one will award your daughter to you. But to be honest, my husband has limited time and may not take good care of him. Just like this time, when Xuanxuan was born, he was not the one to give it to you. I haven't seen it yet, you must understand this. From Zhou Ruolin's pregnancy to the time she gave birth, Yi Mo spent less than 10 days with her. It is conceivable that he will not spend much time with his daughter in the future. I understand this. What you said is that Yi Mo wants to get the spirit stones. We can't practice without the spirit stones. Yang Lan nodded. That's serious. Come on, let me help you dress up and put on the clothes I bought you last time. Lan, to be honest, you have such a bulging front and back, I'm a little moved by the sight of you. Quote. Zhou Ruolin glanced at Yang Lan, thinking that if she hadn't just given birth to a child, she would have wanted to join the battlefield later. I really need to wear it, won't it be too much? Yang Lan's face was red, and her heart was beating wildly when she thought of the clothes Zhou Ruolin bought for her. Gee, why are you so embarrassed? Don't think I don't know. You try on clothes secretly every night and look at yourself in the mirror for half an hour. Zhou Ruolin directly pulled Yang Lan into a room. Then take the clothes directly out of the clothes. Didn't you agree that you don't need to check each other with your spiritual sense? Yang Lan blushed completely. Be honest with each other sooner or later. Change your clothes first. Remember those moves. Do you want to watch the video and review it again? Zhou Ruolin blinked. At about 8 o'clock, Yimo came to Oriental Wadu and opened the door with the key. Zhou Ruolin heard the noise and immediately ran to the living room. Yang Lan was so nervous that she kept hiding in the room without coming out. Yimo was not in a hurry and came to the room with Zhou Ruolin to see his daughter. Yi Zhuxuan was sleeping soundly, and Yimo gently picked her up. Yi Zhuxuan, who felt the movement, slowly opened her eyes, looked at it for a few seconds, and suddenly burst into tears. Yimo was immediately at a loss. What to do? I don't understand it at all. Linlin, Xuanxuan, is she hungry? Hurry up, breastfeed. I've already fed him. Go to Yang Lan's room quickly. There's a surprise. Zhou Ruolin took Xiao Xuanxuan and then coaxed her to sleep. What surprise? Yimo made a face at his daughter, who was immediately amused and laughed. You'll know once you go there. Yimo wanted to play with Xuanxuan more, but was kicked out of the room by Zhou Ruolin. Yimo touched his nose, then opened Yang Lan's room, and then said with a surprised look on his face, "Why did you turn off the light?" Yimo said as he casually pressed the switch. The light, why is it dark yellow? Yimo glanced at the light bulb, and then looked at Yang Lan sitting on the edge of the bed. I'm crazy. This scene, this outfit. Indescribable, completely indescribable. Is this a copycat of an island country romance film? Yimo always felt that he was not thinking about animals with his lower body. But at this moment, his 2 golden kidneys began to burn. It works like a machine, running quickly. A sentence came to Yimo's mind. Elegance never goes out of style. He said nothing and went straight to the battlefield. May 2, 2025, morning. During breakfast time, Yang Lan also brought her daughter out. Shen Xin seemed to be very afraid of strangers and did not dare to look at Yimo. Yimo asked her questions and answered softly. Regarding the child Yang Lan, Yimo naturally has no prejudice and will raise him as he wants. He took a look and found that Shen Xin also had a blue spirit root. She thought that when she had more spiritual stones in the future, she would be able to cultivate immortality. Your family is from Zhang province, right? Sooner or later, he was only focused on fighting. He had not yet asked personally about Yang Lan. Well, a small town in Zhang province. Yang Lan replied softly. Zhang province is a bit far away. When I have time, I will accompany you home and organize a wedding reception. What do you think? Yang Lanlai's home is more than 600 kilometers away from Yangcheng, and it takes 6 or 7 hours to drive. It wouldn't take long, but if Yang Lan got divorced and got married now, Yimo was worried that Yang Lan would be gossiped about. And he may be busy these days. Cheng Ying has learned the fire bomb technique and has helped him find many women. Zhou Ruolin hasn't learned the magic yet, so the movement is not very loud and they are still talking. Okay, Yang Lan nodded. Well, when you have time, you can look at a house so that when Shen Xin is older, he can go to school here. Yimo said. Okay. Yang Lan lowered his head and crossed his fingers. As for life, whatever happens to Linlin, you should do the same. Don't worry about being dependent on others. Also, Shen Xin's spiritual roots are no worse than yours. I will give you more spiritual stones when I have the ability in the future. Do you want Shen Xin to cultivate immortality? Okay. Zhou Ruolin told Yimo early in the morning that Yang Lan was upset. It's nothing more than worrying about Shen Xin's future. Since her breakthrough in Qi training, she had investigated Shen Xin and found that Shen Xin had spiritual roots. She had been worried that Yimo would not let Shen Xin cultivate to immortality, so she was always a little uneasy. Yimo. Yang Lan suddenly raised his head, tears suddenly welling up in his eyes. She really wanted Yimo to say something about asking her daughter to become an immortal, but after she actually said it, she began to feel guilty again. She was an ordinary woman in the countryside. Being able to meet Yimo and become an immortal could be said to be a blessing that she had cultivated in 8 lifetimes. She always warned herself not to be greedy. But Yimo still satisfied her. At this moment, her heart was completely opened. After breakfast, Yimo gave Yang Lan some gold. Then he gave Zhou Ruolin 10,000 spiritual stones. These 10,000 spiritual stones are naturally used to cultivate anchors with spiritual roots. At about 9 o'clock in the morning, Yimo drove to Meixin Manor. Yu Mengyao is still waiting for him there. After the new year, Yu Mengyao went to Chengying. She was waiting for Yimo to arrive every moment. Yimo also talked to her on the phone last night, and she said she wanted to challenge Yimo to a duel. Yimo asked her to wait in vain. So when Yimo came to Meixin Manor, before he could discuss the next goal with Cheng Ying, Yimo and Yu Mengyao entered a heated state. The fighting was extremely fierce. At noon, Yimo couldn't bear it after all. He didn't expect Yu Mengyao to be so stubborn. It's obviously the first time. What kind of young woman are you pretending to be like me? Then you say you lost. Yu Mengyao curled up in Yimo's arms and raised her little head. Okay, I'll hand over my gun and surrender. Yimo picked up Xiaonane, raised his arm, and waved it in the air. I hate it, take your own. Yu Mengyao sat up and snatched back her little panty. The two quarreled for a while, and Cheng Ying sent a message asking them to go downstairs for dinner. Cheng Ying is 7 months pregnant, and Lu Xiaofeng's belly has begun to show its size. In order to ensure the healthy development of the fetus, Yimo did not ask Lu Xiaofeng to increase his charm. Anyway, it won't take long for the child to be born. He can regenerate by filling up his charm points next time. After lunch, Cheng Ying sat next to Yimo and began to introduce the results of this period to him. When he left last time, Yimo gave her a few more blue spirit roots. Now she has 5 blue spiritual roots in her hand. There used to be a lot of them, but I couldn't see them and they were brushed off by her. These 5 have all met before, and their image is pretty good. But the problem is, none of these 5 are from Yangcheng. There are those in Hangcheng, Ningcheng, and Zonghai. Several cities are not far apart. Of course, Cheng Ying had already agreed with them to meet them in Yangcheng when the time came. However, it doesn't make much sense for Yimo to meet them now. These people will have to wait until they become immortal cultivators before they can fully believe it. So at this stage, Cheng Ying is still allowed to contact them. In addition to these 5, there is also Yi Qingmei. Husband, have you got the Holy Spirit pill? Cheng Ying asked. Yeah, Yimo nodded. That's easy to handle. Yi Qingmei's father is currently receiving chemotherapy in the 2nd hospital. I'll tell her later and you can go there in the afternoon. Cheng Ying said. There's no rush. It's the same if you go tomorrow. I'll stay with you in the afternoon. Today's one-hit has already been used by Yu Mengyao. Yimo planned to spend the afternoon with Cheng Ying and the others, and then go to Zhu Leiyao's place. In the afternoon, Yimo took the 3 of them out for a walk. The 3 beautiful people really attracted the attention of many passers-by. Yimo's vanity was filled instantly. Some time ago, Cheng Ying also told Lu Xiaofeng about cultivating immortality. She didn't believe it at first, but until Yu Mengyao arrived, she became convinced, and she was even more looking forward to Yimo's arrival. Lu Xiaofeng has a body of charm, but because she has not yet become an immortal, she cannot show it. Once she becomes an immortal, she will definitely enchant all living beings. In the end, Yimo gave Lu Xiaofeng 300 spirit stones, and then gave Cheng Ying 10,000 spirit stones. In the evening, Yimo came to Dongfengwan residence, and then took Zhu Leiyao back to her house. Then discuss with her parents about the time of the wedding. Zhu's father was so excited that he started preparing wedding invitations that night and flipped through the phone book several times. Call everyone you know. May 3rd. After arriving at the 3rd hospital, he parked the car and at the gate of the inpatient department, Yimo saw Yi Qingmei again. I'm not kidding you, in order to save your father, I almost couldn't come back this time, and I also offended many big guys. They are now chasing me all over the world. I might lose my head one day, so, you have to save a seed for me no matter what. Yimo said solemnly, then took Yi Qingmei's little HND and asked, what ward number is my father-in-law in? Yimo said it very seriously, and Yi Qingmei had no doubts. She had seen Yimo's battle, and the scene was really dangerous. If you were not careful, you could die on the spot. But she didn't know that Zhang Haofeng and the others were just martial artists, not immortal cultivators. Third floor, what should we do? Can we hide? Don't worry, no matter where you hide, I will follow you. I will give you as many children as you want. Yi Qingmei immediately jogged 2 steps to keep up with Yimo's pace, looking very nervous. You can't hide, and you're more likely to be exposed with me. You can only fight them hard. But don't worry too much. I'm not a soft persimmon, and not everyone can handle it. Walking into the elevator, Yimo saw that Yi Qingmei was scared, so he comforted her. I know, that day at Donglin Lake, I saw you fighting with someone, competing, and splitting that person into 2 pieces with 1 sword. Yi Qingmei looked at Yimo with admiration. She had already told Cheng Ying about this matter, and Yimo also knew about it. That's just a little guy. A real big boss can split Donglin Lake with 1 sword. When you practice, you will know. Now I will treat your father first. I should treat him tonight. It will be fine. Soon the 2 arrived at the 3rd floor. There is only 1 patient in the entire ward, Yi Qingmei's father. There is also a middle-aged woman with a haggard face, who should be Yi Qingmei's mother. But what Yimo didn't expect was that in addition to Yi Qingmei's parents, there was another person who was similar in age to Yi Qingmei and looked as good as Yi Qingmei. Yimo met her last time at Louis T house, but he left in a hurry last time and did not check her out. This time Yimo also followed professional habits and started character investigation. However, the next second, Yimo's eyes went straight. Character: Zhao Shaohan. Cultivation: None. Spiritual root: Yellow spiritual root, immortal body. P.S. The immortal body, the host and its dual cultivation, can recover quickly no matter how many injuries the body receives. I'm so lucky. System: what kind of physique do I have? Isn't it the body of a European emperor? This is really a big surprise. The immortal body sounds extremely domineering. Take it now. It doesn't matter if you have children or not. When Zhao Shaohan saw Yimo, her eyes also lit up. Yi Qingmei told her last night that Yimo would come today. So she came to the hospital early this morning. Ever since I saw Yimo and Zhang Haofeng fighting, that image has been lingering in her mind. She wants to become an immortal too. Yi Qingmei had told her early on that as long as she gave Yimo a child, Yimo would teach her how to cultivate immortality. So, can I do it myself? Of course, she did not tell Yi Qingmei this idea. Uncle Yi, I am Yi Qingmei's boyfriend. I have been abroad before and just came back today, so I came to see you now. Before coming, Yimo bought some gifts and placed them in front of the hospital bed. Yi Qingmei also came to the bed, holding in her hand the Holy Spirit pill that Yimo just gave her. Although she believed Yimo was an immortal cultivator, she was still nervous at this time. Dad, the doctor just gave me a pill, and he told you to take it now. Yi Qingmei picked up the water glass beside the bed and handed it to her father. What? Father Yi didn't suspect anything. He took the water cup, then put the Holy Spirit pill into his mouth and swallowed it in 1 gulp. He didn't doubt the pill, but he was a little confused about Yimo's identity. When she was at Donglin Lake, she also saw the scene of Yimo's battle, but at that time he thought it was a movie and didn't watch it carefully. But when he saw Yimo, he always felt like he had seen him somewhere before. What's your name? After taking the elixir, Father Yi felt a warm current flowing in his body. He didn't think much, but looked at Yimo and asked. My name is Yimo. Yimo opened his consciousness and discovered that the medicinal properties of the Holy Spirit pill were restoring the lungs. Judging from this speed, the cancer cells should be completely eliminated in a few hours. Qingmei has a boyfriend, but he never told me. Yimo, Qingmei has already told you about my family situation. I don't have much time left, and the thing I can't let go of is Qingmei. I don't have any requirements, I just hope that you can treat Qingmei sincerely in the future. Father Yi coughed lightly. He didn't know if it was his imagination. He felt that when he coughed, he didn't feel as uncomfortable as before. Uncle Yi, don't worry, you will definitely live a long life. When the time comes, you will hold a wedding for us and watch Qingmei give birth to a fat grandson for you. The Holy Spirit pill can not only cure Yi Qingmei's father's cancer, but also improve his body. There is no problem in living 100 years old. However, Father Yi just smiled softly. He has heard too many words like this. He has accepted reality and no longer has any illusions. Yi Mo didn't say anything more. He glanced at Yi Qingmei and motioned for her to go outside and talk. What surprised Yi Mo was that Zhao Xiaohan also followed. When they came outside, Yi Qingmei specially introduced Zhao Xiaohan to Yi Mo. They were both students of Yangda University, shared the same dormitory, and grew up together. After 2 hours, you take your dad for a review. If nothing happens, he should be fully recovered and can be discharged today. Yi Mo kept talking, looking at Zhao Xiaohan from time to time. Finally, before Yi Qingmei could reply, he couldn't wait to ask, "Do you know about Qingmei and me?" Yeah. Zhao Xiaohan nodded immediately. She seemed to be more anxious than Yi Mo, and said quickly, "I saw it, God, Yi Mo, can you also teach me to cultivate immortality? You also want to practice, but the resources for practice are too scarce." Yi Mo pretended to be deep in thought, but his heart was filled with joy. He didn't expect that the battle with Zhang Haofeng would yield unexpected results. "I can give you as many children as you want," Zhao Xiaohan blurted out. She was a little nervous. She didn't want to miss this opportunity to cultivate immortality. During this time, Yi Qingmei was chatting with Cheng Ying, and she was watching from the sidelines, knowing that cultivating immortals requires a large amount of spiritual stones. Without spiritual stones, there is no way to practice. "Xiaohan, you," Yi Qingmei was confused. "What's going on? I haven't even gotten it yet, and you want to snatch it away." Yi Qingmei thought that during this period, Zhao Xiaohan urged herself to chat with Cheng Ying from time to time and asked about cultivating immortals. It turned out to be intentional. Qingmei, Zhao Xiaohan felt a little guilty. After all, she wanted to compete with her good sisters for a man. Hey, no, she didn't want to monopolize Yi Mo. They are all giving birth to children, you give birth to yours, and I give birth to mine, without interfering with each other. I feel guilty. After thinking about this, Zhao Xiaohan looked calm and no longer evasive. She looked at Yi Mo and said, "I heard Cheng Ying say what spiritual roots are needed to cultivate immortality. Do I have them? You already know this." Yi Mo was a little surprised, but soon thought that maybe Yi Qingmei told her, so he nodded, "Yes, and it's not bad." Not only is it good, if Zhao Xiaohan is placed in the Water Moon realm, he will definitely be a genius disciple of the sect. Although it is just Huang Lingen. But the immortal body is definitely an extremely rare physique. It's definitely no problem to fight beyond the level. That, Zhao Xiaohan's heart finally dropped. She heard Cheng Ying say that there were not many people with spiritual roots. What she was most worried about was that she didn't have spiritual roots. Now she heard Yi Mo say that not only did she have spiritual roots, but she was also pretty good. It seemed that everything was a blessing. Destined. Then when do you want to start? My aunt has been gone for 3 days. No, Zhao Xiaohan, I didn't expect you to be so scheming. You actually want to get in front of me. It's like your aunt is still there. Mine has been gone for 7 days. As promised, we will be best friends for life. That's how you treat me, right? Yi Qingmei was angry. He went back to the ward directly, told his parents that he and Yi Mo would go out to buy something, and then took Yi Mo to a nearby hotel. Fast forward 2 hours here. Your scar, Yi Mo's scars have faded. However, by touching it with your hands, you can still clearly feel the raised scar. At this time, Yi Qingmei had no doubt at all. Yi Mo said that in order to obtain the elixir, he almost couldn't come back. She and Yi Mo were originally a transaction. But at this moment, I was a little touched. At least Yi Mo didn't lie to her. Yi Mo did not elaborate, but stood up, put on his clothes, and said, "Your dad, he should be fine now. Let's go back to the hospital and take him for a checkup." Yi Qingmei nodded slightly, then quickly put on her clothes, took the initiative to hold Yi Mo's arm, and returned to the inpatient department. Then he called the attending doctor and took his father for a review. After the examination, several people returned to the ward and waited for the results. But before the results came out, Liao Qing suddenly called. Liao Qing. Yi Mo, are you free recently? Yi Mo, it should be fine this week. Liao Qing. On the 5th, the Feng family is holding an auction. Our 9th bureau is short of manpower to maintain order. Can you come? Yi Mo. Okay. Liao Qing. Okay, let me pick you up on the 5th. Yi Mo. Okay. Liao Qing. Well, then I won't disturb you anymore. Yi Mo. Wait. Yi Mo stood up, left the ward, and then came to the stairs. What's the situation with the Feng family's qi and blood pill? It stands to reason that with something as important as the qi and blood pill, it should be impossible for the 9 bureaus to let the Feng family go on like this. Although Yi Mo didn't care very much, he was also a little curious. I don't know the specific situation. We only received an order to fully cooperate with the Feng family and not let any accidents happen to the Feng family. Moreover, the headquarters has sent 4 innate experts to guard the Feng family. Liao Qing replied. You don't know. Yi Mo was a little surprised. Top secret, our branch doesn't have the authority yet. Yi Mo, martial artists have been pouring into our Yangcheng recently. There have been many incidents of hurting people, and people from Black Tiger Gate have also come. You have to be careful. Black Tiger sect is the sect of Gaoyuan Mountain. Liao Qing told Yi Mo early in the morning. Okay, thank you. Yi Mo hung up the phone. Regarding the Black Tiger clan, Yi Mo didn't care. The master of the Black Tiger clan was also cultivating in heaven grade. However, it is easy to dodge an open spear, but it is difficult to prevent a hidden arrow. Women like myself have children, which is a big problem. We must strengthen our own power. It would be great if we could get a few more violent spirit pills. Yi Mo shook his head, feeling that he was a little whimsical. Just when he turned around to return to the ward, Yi Qingmei and Zhao Xiaohan came over. Seeing that Yi Mo's face was not very good, Yi Qingmei asked worriedly, what's wrong? Is the enemy here? Not really, but it's really not peaceful recently, so you have to practice as soon as possible. In this way, you can find a villa you like, and tell me when you find it. I will make money for you, and you can practice together in the future. Yi Mo said. Yes. Yi Qingmei and the two nodded at the same time. When they heard that they were going to buy a villa, they were secretly happy. Have your dad's test results come out? Yi Mo asked. Not yet. Yi Qingmei shook her head, but she was not worried. She believed in Yi Mo. Time is of the essence. I will give you the exercises and spiritual stones first. You can practice at home. Xiaohan will come with me first and then go back after the villa is booked. Yi Mo thought to himself that he must seize the time to push the immortal body to the highest level. Just take Xiaohan away alone. Yi Qingmei was a little unhappy. She felt that she was being treated differently. I took Xiaohan away because she has a special constitution and needs constant double cultivation. You are different. You are pregnant now, so you can't mess around lest you cause fetal contractions. Yi Mo also saw Yi Qingmei's thoughts, and in order to be fair, Yi Mo told the truth. Your excuse, really, even a 3-year-old child doesn't believe it. Just like that, he got hit. Yi Qingmei drooped, becoming more and more unhappy. She thought to herself that Zhao Xiaohan was more fierce, but elsewhere, she would definitely beat her. As the #1 beauty of Yongda University, this is the best proof. Don't doubt my skills. My hit rate is absolutely 100%. Yi Mo scraped Yi Qingmei's nose affectionately. I don't care, I will find a villa in 2 days, and you must come then. Yi Qingmei obviously didn't believe it, then turned and walked towards the ward. Yi Mo followed behind. Then he gave Yi Qingmei the exercises and gave her a storage bag. Then he said goodbye to Yi Qingmei's parents. Then he took Zhao Xiaohan and prepared to go to Meixin Manor. In the parking lot, Zhao Xiaohan strongly requested to drive by herself. Isn't it convenient for you to wear high heels? Yi Mo was worried about whether Zhao Xiaohan could drive. It's okay, I took off my shoes and drove. Zhao Xiaohan couldn't wait and got in the car directly, then took off her high heels and handed them to Yi Mo. As soon as I stepped on the accelerator, the car roared and sped away. For more than half an hour, the car parked in the villa courtyard. Cheng Ying and 3 other people came out. When Zhao Xiaohan got off the car, Cheng Ying was stunned. She thought it was Yi Qingmei. What is this? Cheng Ying looked at Yi Mo. Sister Cheng, I am Yi Qingmei's classmate. My name is Zhao Xiaohan. When you were chatting with Qingmei, I was right next to you. Without waiting for Yimo to answer, Zhao Xiaohan walked forward quickly and began to introduce himself. Yimo asked Cheng Ying to find a woman with spiritual roots. Obviously Yimo must trust her very much. If he guessed correctly, Cheng Ying should be the eldest sister and he would have to build a good relationship with her. Oh, what a coincidence. Cheng Ying also smiled, thinking, this is a buy one get one free. I think it's fate. At first, I persuaded Qingmei to come, until we saw Yimo competing with other immortals at Donglin Lake, and my 3 views were subverted on the spot. Zhao Xiaohan glanced at Yimo and said with admiration on his face. You were there at the time. It seems like it was fate. However, the people competing with my husband are not immortals. They are just a group of inferior martial artists. Originally, Cheng Ying didn't know about the competition between Yimo and Zhang Haofeng, but she heard about it from Yi Qingmei. Later she asked Yimo to find out the truth. What do you mean? Zhao Xiaohan was stunned. It means that on Blue Star, except for my husband and us who are immortal cultivators, everyone else is a group of mortals, including those martial artists, who are all a group of ants. Before Cheng Ying could reply, Yu Mengyao came over domineeringly, and then stretched out her white jade hands. Hello, my name is Yu Mengyao, and I started practicing with my husband a year ago. Sister Yu, you didn't lie to me. Zhao Xiaohan immediately stretched out her hand with a look of disbelief. She always thought that there were many immortal cultivators in this world. So from beginning to end, she didn't think she would be anything great in the future. At most, they are different from ordinary people. But after hearing Yu Mengyao's words, she immediately felt that things were far from being as simple as she imagined. Of course, when you practice, you will know that Blue Star's spiritual energy of heaven and earth has been exhausted, and you can't practice at all. You can only use the spiritual stones provided by your husband. Yu Mengyao said. Really? Zhao Xiaohan looked at Yimo. Well, but you can't underestimate those martial artists. With your current strength, you are still invincible against those powerful martial artists. Yimo nodded and then took everyone into the room to talk. Because it was already evening, Yu Mengyao and Lu Zhaofeng started cooking, while Cheng Ying taught Zhao Xiaohan how to practice. It didn't take long for Zhao Xiaohan to feel the spiritual energy from the spirit stone entering his body. She was suddenly as excited as a child. Excited. After dinner, Zhao Xiaohan wanted to continue practicing, but Yimo carried him directly to the 2nd floor. I don't know if it's because of my physical condition. After fighting for 300 rounds, Zhao Xiaohan was not defeated for the first time. At this moment, the system prompts. The recovery value is increased by 1. Yimo ignored it and mobilized his golden kidneys. Zhao Xiaohan could no longer hold back and completely let herself go. The lobby on the 1st floor. Cheng Ying and the other 3 were sitting on the sofa. I can't bear it anymore. Lu Zhaofeng's face turned red. No, 2 sisters, you are both pregnant, let me do it. Yu Mengyao stood up with a roar, then circulated her spiritual energy, rushed to the 2nd floor with a few quick steps, and opened the door with a palm. On the afternoon of May 5th, after Yimo's efforts, the recovery value was finally pushed to 10 points. Yimo tried to scratch his skin with a spiritual weapon, and the bleeding stopped in about half a minute. In half an hour, the wound was completely healed. And the scars have completely disappeared. At about 4 o'clock, Liao Qing arrived. Cheng Ying welcomed them warmly, and Yimo told them that Liao Qing also had spiritual roots. So when Liao Qing arrived, he was surrounded by Cheng Ying and 4 other people, asking for help. This made Liao Qing feel a little at a loss. What's going on? Why do I feel like I've fallen into a wolf's den? Liao Qing couldn't bear it anymore, so she immediately asked Yimo to follow her to Zhonghe Building. Zhonghe Building is just an industry of the Feng family. The auction will be held on the top floor of the building. According to statistics, tens of thousands of martial artists arrived this time. However, only a few hundred people can bid. Others are mainly waiting for the auction to see if they can buy qi and blood pills from other people. What is our mission? In the car, Yimo asked. Because there are too many martial artists gathered in Yangcheng. Not only did the headquarters send a martial artist to take charge, but all 9 bureaus from all over the country also sent people. And his cultivation level is not low. Now the staff of Yangcheng branch are almost becoming handymen. Does Zhao Lingshan know? Liao Qing replied. Who? Yi Mo was confused. She is the eldest daughter of the Zhao family, our four major families in Yangcheng, and the newly promoted Jade Queen. She is hosting this auction. She is also the auctioneer this time. Our task is to protect her. Liao Qing explained. The Feng family's auction will be hosted by the Zhao family, am I right? Yi Mo has never heard of Zhao Lingshan. Mainly in the past 2 years, he hasn't paid much attention to the entertainment industry. Firstly, she is well known. Secondly, some time ago, the Zhao family suffered a fatal blow. Zhao Lingshan's parents died, and Zhao Tianlei, the head of the Zhao family, was also seriously injured. The Zhao family's industry continued to shrink. In order to seek stability, Zhao Tianlei wanted to marry Feng family marriage, but the Feng family is now at its peak and seems to look down on the Zhao family. Quote, don't say that the Zhao family is worse than before. Even in its heyday, with the current status of the Feng family, they would not look directly at the Zhao family. Then how come Zhao Lingshan can still host? Yi Mo asked curiously. Haha, because Feng Junji, the third young master of the Feng family, is a fan of Zhao Lingshan. Liao Qing sneered. What do you mean? The marriage between the two families has been completed. Yi Mo gossiped. No, Liao Qing shook his head. Why? Yi Mo asked immediately. You are stupid. Who is Feng Junji? He is a famous playboy in Yangcheng, a scumbag among scumbags. Zhao Lingshan is not the only star he likes, and he may not even be among the top 5. Even if the Zhao family is willing to, if Zhao Lingshan marries Feng Junji won't agree to it, it's just a joke. Liao Qing thought to herself that Zhao Lingshan must have paid a lot of money to become an auctioneer this time. Of course, there are many benefits obtained. At least a layer of information is revealed to outsiders that the Feng family is protecting the Zhao family. Ah, Yi Mo looked slightly embarrassed. He felt that Liao Qing had other intentions. I'm not talking about you. Feng Junji is incomparable to you. At least he won't spread his seeds everywhere. He even goes out of his way to apply for a fake marriage certificate to deceive other people's parents and even hold a wedding. To be honest, Liao Qing really couldn't understand why Yi Mo acted like this. What is the purpose of doing this? Aren't you tired? I had no choice but to do it for my own reasons. The ball was over, but now I'm afraid I can't explain it clearly. Brother, my sister is 3 years older than you. Liao Qing corrected. Really, I really didn't see it. I always thought you were still a young girl who just graduated. Hee. Liao Qing sneered, then changed the subject and said, although the Zhao family has suffered a heavy blow this time, some people still don't want to let go of the Zhao family, especially the Zhao family who wants to marry the Feng family, so Zhao Lingshan's situation is very dangerous. We in the 9th Bureau may protect her throughout the whole process recently. No, you are very idle, aren't you? Everyone in the Zhao family has died. Why don't our 9th Bureau go directly to arrest the murderer? Not to mention shooting, at least send him to martial artist prison, right? Yi Mo said puzzledly. With the country's current methods, no matter how powerful the martial artist is, he should still be able to catch him, right? The state has reached a consensus with martial artist a long time ago. The state generally will not take action against martial artist. Liao Qing explained. Why, now that we have this consensus, why should we protect Zhao Lingshan? Yi Mo frowned slightly. Sha uses martial arts as a prohibition. The more he controls, the greater the backlash will be. I protect Zhao Lingshan because the Zhao family gave us some benefits in the 9 bureaus. Liao Qing said. Can't we suppress all martial artists? I don't believe that with the current strength of the country, we can't solve these martial artists. Since we are worried about martial artists violating the ban, then everyone should be equal and the world should be peaceful. This is your question. When I first came to the 9th Bureau, I asked Director Song. He only answered me with one sentence. Martial artists are of great strategic significance to the country. Not only can they not be suppressed, but some talents must be fully cultivated. Liao Qing shook his head again. What meaning does this have? If it really means, there will be no turmoil before liberation. Even if you are asked to tear apart the tricks with your own hands, how much can you tear apart? Although the martial artist is strong, he can even dodge bullets. But that's in a one-on-one situation. Shooting randomly, not to mention the martial artist, the immortal cultivators cannot avoid it. Moreover, in the turbulent era, firearms were not very advanced, and martial artists did not make much waves. Especially now, almost sending people to the moon. Beidou satellites are all over the world, and martial artist has no place to hide. I can only say that this is a secret. Liao Qing was actually very curious, but Song Bowen never talked about this issue. Yi Mo also knew that nothing could be gained by asking. No more words were said. Arriving at Zhonghe building, Liao Qing took Yi Mo directly to the top floor. Then he walked into a small room. It was Zhao Lingshan's dressing room. Most of the people from the Yongcheng branch are here. Ms. Zhao, let me explain to you, this is the customer service staff of our branch. I know that he is Yi Mo. I have seen the video of Zhang Haofeng being killed in Donglin Lake. It turns out that heroes come from young. Zhao Lingshan was generous and shook hands with Yi Mo. Hello. Yi Mo shook it gently and immediately took his hand back. As a newly promoted queen, Zhao Lingshan can't really tell the truth about her appearance. It's just a pity that the other party has no spiritual roots. Therefore, Yi Mo's attitude was a little cold, and Zhao Lingshan didn't care. She looked at the time, and then invited everyone to have dinner with great enthusiasm. The dining area is on the second to last floor. There were hundreds of people eating here at this time. As soon as Yi Mo walked in, he felt a look full of murderous intent coming towards him. Gao Yuanshan unexpectedly recovered from his injuries. He stood up with a roar, the murderous intent in his eyes undisguised. As Gao Yuanshan stood up, a group of people at the same table with him looked at Yi Mo. These people are fellow disciples of Gao Yuanshan. Yi Mo glanced at it casually and then withdrew his gaze. Did you see that middle-aged man? He has a short head and 3 tiger stripes tattooed on the left side of his face. This man is Bai Yunfei, the master of the Black Tiger clan. Liao Qing came closer and whispered in Yi Mo's ear. I saw it, it's quite unconventional. Yi Mo said lightly. You think so too? Liao Qing took a look at Yi Mo's hairstyle and thought, you are not much better, and then continued, this time the Zhao family was attacked, and the Black Tiger clan was also involved. You mean, more than one group of people are dealing with the Zhao family? Yi Mo thought thoughtfully, what did the Zhao family do, and why so many people want to kill the Zhao family? The Black Tiger clan is just taking advantage of people's danger. The person who really wants to deal with the Zhao family is the Zhao family's enemy from 20 years ago. This person had a blood feud with the Zhao family back then. Later, he was seriously injured by the Zhao family's leader and fled overseas. The 10 years have passed and this person has broken through innate, so he came to seek revenge. Liao Qing explained. What's his name? Is he there? Yi Mo asked. Before Liao Qing could answer, Zhao Lingshan, who was walking at the front, suddenly turned around, looked at Yi Mo, and said with hatred, he called Tu Lai. He was originally my grandfather's adopted son, but he colluded with outsiders and wanted to annex me. Fortunately, my grandfather discovered the Zhao family's property in time, but in the end he couldn't bear to do anything to him, so he just kicked him out of the Zhao family. But Tu Lai was not only ungrateful, but also intensified his attacks on my Zhao family. I was still young at that time, but I saw my uncle's family died tragically in his hands. Last month, my parents. Speaking of this, Zhao Lingshan's body was trembling. Although she tried her best to restrain herself, the childhood nightmare has not gone away for the past 20 years. In another month, she saw her parents having their heads blown off in front of her. In Zhao Lingshan's eyes, there was not only overwhelming hatred, but also lingering fear. Miss Zhao, please forgive me. Yi Mo smacked his tongue slightly. This Tu Lai is also a ruthless person. Does this want the head of the Zhao family to watch his descendants die miserably one by one? What hatred or grudge? I don't want to mourn, Yi Mo. If you can help me kill Tu Lai, my Zhao family will obey your orders. During this period of time, the Zhao family has not invited anyone. But when they heard that Tu Lai had broken through innate, they all retreated. And those who have the ability to kill Tu Lai are not interested in what the Zhao family can bring out. I'm a prefecture-level person. If you ask me to kill innate, Miss Zhao, you are too flattering to me. Yi Mo refused without thinking. Sorry, I was abrupt. Zhao Lingshan just went to the doctor randomly because of her illness. He thought to himself that although Yimo had killed Zhang Haofeng, he would still be defeated by innate. When we came to an empty table, a few people sat down, and soon a waiter came over to take orders. Yimo and Liao Qing sat together. As soon as he sat down, he naturally helped Liao Qing wash the dishes. "What are you doing?" Liao Qing turned sideways and asked softly. "What for?" Yimo asked. "Why do you help me wash the dishes? What's wrong with the dishes and chopsticks? You are my leader. Isn't it right to please you? You're not normal. Why is it abnormal?" Yimo looked at Enzuo beside him and asked doubtfully, "Am I abnormal?" "Well," Enzuo was stunned, and then looked at his colleagues next to him. This person is a middle-aged woman in her 40s and a subordinate of Yang Ding. The last time Yimo saw her, she was only a Zon-level martial artist. Now she has broken through the Earth level. His identity has also been upgraded. He is now the vice captain of the second team, named Luo Wan. This time, she and Liao Qing led the team to protect Zhao Lingshan. The first team and Yang Ding were stationed at the Zhao family and did not come. "Yimo, help me wash it too." Luo Wan handed over the dishes that had not yet been unpacked. "Don't you have hands?" Yimo said subconsciously. "It's really not normal." Luo Wan covered her mouth and smiled. Yimo didn't make any excuses. The food was soon served. Yimo was about to start eating, but before he could take 2 bites, there was a sudden commotion around him. He looked up and saw a group of people walking into the gate. As this group of people came in, the martial artists in the living room stood up one after another. Liao Qing introduced it next to Yimo's ear. The old man walking in the front is Feng Zonghe, the helmsman of the Feng family. He just broke through innate some time ago. The one on his left is his eldest son, Feng Mingzi. This man is extremely talented in martial arts and is less than 50 years old. It has broken through the middle stage of innate. In the middle of the second row is Feng Mingwen, the second son of the Feng family. Although this man has average cultivation, he has a very high business vision. It can be said that he accounts for most of the credit for the development of the Feng family's industry. Beside him is his wife. The third row is the third generation of the Feng family, and the last 4 are the innate masters sent by the headquarters. Quote. Liao Qing said quickly. "Where is the young man next to Feng Mingwen?" "His son." Yimo looked at the young man, who looked to be in his 20s. "No, he is Feng Mingwen's son-in-law." Liao Qing replied. "Son-in-law." Yimo was slightly stunned. "Yes, this person is quite interesting. He joined his wife Feng's family 3 years ago, but I don't know if it was because of his pride. He didn't want to eat soft food, so he ran around during the day and delivered food at night." Liao Qing said. "What the hell?" Yimo was immediately in awe. "You don't know that in Yangcheng, everyone called him a waste, even the Feng family, but he never took it to heart. He said that as long as Feng Muir doesn't dislike him, he will be a waste in his life. The son-in-law of the Feng family will never leave you." Liao Qing said while looking at Yimo with a sneer. "What is your look? Why are you looking at me like that?" Yimo was speechless. "You're so good, why are you comparing yourself to me? Our situation is different, okay. Hee hee." Feng Zonghe walked to the front of the living room, holding a wine glass in his hand, and toasted to the martial artist at the guest table. Everyone responded immediately. In fact, the martial artist who came to bid was not from a large sect. At least the 4 major sects are not included. The qi and blood pills of the 4 major sects have long been decided internally. "Everyone, I wonder if today's meal is to your liking," Feng Zonghe said loudly. Everyone applauded. Of course, they don't come here just to eat. So someone asked, "Chief Feng, I wonder how many qi and blood pills will be auctioned tonight?" "Don't worry, this time there are more than twice as many qi and blood pills as last time. I guarantee that no matter which sect or family you belong to, you can buy more than 100 pills." Feng Zonghe smiled slightly. Everyone was excited when they heard the result. However, before it was over, Feng Zonghe dropped another bomb. "In this auction, in addition to the qi and blood pill, our Feng family has also developed a heaven-defying elixir. The function of this elixir can be to cleanse the menstruation and cut the marrow. If as a martial artist who encounters bottlenecks, if I take this elixir, I can guarantee a breakthrough on the same day. Is there such a pill?" The scene suddenly exploded. Of course, my Feng family has been developing this elixir for 2 or 3 years, and it finally lived up to expectations. It was finally successfully developed half a month ago. Moreover, our Feng family plans to come up with some herbs this time and share them with everyone. I want to sit here. People from the Medicine King Valley and the Divine Medicine Hall will be very interested. As for medicinal herbs, some ordinary sects and families are fine, because they know nothing about it. But the people in Yaowang Valley and Divine Medicine Hall were very excited. Since the Qi blood pill came out, they have been very eager to know how the Qi blood pill is refined. It's just that they can't even enter the Feng family's gate. Clan Chief Feng is really grand. People from Yaowang Valley and Divine Medicine Hall immediately toasted to Feng Zhonghe. Feng Zhonghe nodded with a smile. He came here mainly to announce this matter. Then he led the people out of the living room. As soon as Feng Zhonghe left, the martial artist in the living room immediately started talking about it. Yi Mo turned a deaf ear and focused on his own business. You're not interested in this? Liao Qing looked at Yi Mo curiously. She was quite sincere about the qi and blood pills, and he could get a few pills every month. But the elixir for cleansing menstruation and cutting marrow announced by Feng Zhonghe just now made people curious. It's true that I'm not very interested. The main reason is that these things are of no use to me. Yi Mo said lightly. How could it be useless? As you can tell from the name, the elixir for cleansing the meridians and cutting the marrow should be the elixir for expanding the meridians. If Feng Zhonghe is not lying, taking this elixir should speed up your cultivation. Quote. Liao Qing said. She felt that Yi Mo might not understand very well. Otherwise, it would be impossible to be so calm. Liao Qing, there is something I have always wanted to tell you, but I was afraid that you wouldn't be able to keep this secret. Yi Mo really wanted to win over Liao Qing, but Liao Qing's identity was too special. If he taught her to cultivate immortality, I'm afraid she would report it to her superiors on the same day. She is different from others. Even though Liao Qing knew that he was using cultivation as an excuse to seduce some women, Liao Qing would only feel that he was lying to them. But if Liao Qing practices immortality, for the sake of national justice, can she hold on and not retaliate? What's the matter? Liao Qing asked. What is the upper limit of martial artist? Yi Mo asked rhetorically. Of course, Grand Master. Liao Qing blurted out. Is there anyone above the Grand Master? Grand Masters are also in the realm of mortals, at least the sea of consciousness has not been opened, but their physical fitness is just stronger. Never heard of it. Liao Qing shook his head. That's the problem. As far as I know, a Grand Master can live 200 years, but no one has been able to break through the sect from ancient times to the present. Do you know the reason? Yi Mo continued to ask. Is there any reason for this? Isn't it always like this? Liao Qing frowned slightly. She really hasn't thought about this problem, because from ancient times to the present, the master is the pinnacle and no one can break it. No, there are reasons. One is the cultivation method, and the other is the changes in heaven and earth. If the cultivation method remains unchanged and the heaven and earth do not change, then it is true that we will always stop at the master level. The method of practicing martial arts is to refine qi and blood. It is basically impossible to break through the sea of consciousness. In the water and moon world, there are also masters of martial artist. If he happens to have spiritual roots, he can switch to cultivating immortals. It is possible to break through the sea of consciousness, and it is not impossible to even build a foundation in the future. But Blue Star's spiritual veins dried up. Such a thing cannot happen. What else can be done with the techniques? From ancient times to the present, there have been many talented and beautiful people who wanted to develop more powerful techniques, but they all failed. Liao Qing shook his head again, feeling that Yi Mo was a little whimsical. It's not that no one has tried to improve the practice, but all roads are blocked. The current practice can be said to be the most complete. Put down your chopsticks first. Yi Mo said. What's wrong? Liao Qingling asked. Let you feel my inner strength. Yi Mo directly grabbed Liao Qing's hand. Liao Qing immediately wanted to pull it off, but no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't break free. What are you doing? Liao Qing's face turned red. When Anzuo and the others saw this scene, they all lowered their heads and started eating. Feel good. Yi Mo mobilized the spiritual energy in his body and slowly transferred it into Liao Qing's hands. At first, Liao Qing didn't feel anything, but Yi Mo's internal power was flowing unimpeded in her body, and she almost instinctively mobilized her internal power to resist. Internal force and spiritual force collide. However, Liao Qing's internal strength was like a chicken and a dog, unable to stop him for a moment. The spiritual power entered Liao Qing's various meridians as if it were nothing. Finally arrived at Liao Qing's dantian. At this moment, Liao Qing seemed to be unable to hold on any longer, and his whole body was crumbling. She even felt that her body was completely out of her control. This is what the Immortal Cultivation world often says, seal. Yi Mo, don't. Liao Qing's voice began to become soft and waxy. And Zuo on the side raised his head and glanced secretly, and the next moment his brain exploded. Holy shit, what's going on, boss? He fell into captivity just by holding hands. And Zuo immediately withdrew his gaze and started working hard. It's true that Miss Liao keeps saying that she won't find a man in her life. Her mouth is very tough, but her body is very honest. But having said that, Yi Mo is really handsome. If I were 20 years younger, I would definitely take the initiative. Quote. Luo Wan almost laughed out loud when she saw Liao Qing's expression. The other team members seemed not to notice. Yi Mo then let go of his hand. Liao Qing's internal strength immediately returned to its original position. Do you feel any difference? Yi Mo smiled slightly. You bully others. If I break through Tianji, I will never let you succeed. Liao Qing gritted his teeth and said. Of course, she was already shocked. She could feel that Yi Mo's inner power was very pure. As for how pure it was, she couldn't imagine it, at least she had never seen it before. In addition to being pure, Yi Mo's internal strength is much stronger than hers, which means that Yi Mo has broken through the heaven grade. How long has it been? How did Yi Mo do it? Then wait until you reach Tianji and try again. Yi Mo didn't say much. Soon everyone finished eating. Get ready to return to the top. But before Yi Mo took a few steps, Gao Yuenshin and others came over. Bai Yunfei, the leader of the Black Tiger sect, stopped Yi Mo. Gao Yuenshin stood beside him, his face twisted, and said, Yi Mo, give me back my secret book. Your secret book, you call it and see if it agrees. If it agrees, I will return it to you. Yi Mo sneered. You. Gao Yuenshin suddenly became angry. You won't give it, what you mean? Bai Yunfei narrowed his eyes. Who do you think you are? You dare to ask me for something? Yi Mo said unceremoniously. This Black Tiger clan is so courageous that he dared to stop him in public. Okay, very good. Don't think that you can sit back and relax now that you have joined the 9th Bureau. You will always go out to perform tasks one day. Bai Yunfei's face suddenly darkened, then he turned around, waved his hand, and said to his disciples, let's go. The reason why he stopped Yi Mo was not because he wanted to avenge Gao Yuenshin. After all, Yi Mo was not weak. He was just very interested in the secret book Gao Yuenshin said. Etc. Yi Mo had no intention of letting them go. Since he had brought them to the door, it made sense to let them go. He looked at Liao Qing and said, threatening a public official in public, what kind of crime is that? Liao Qing was stunned for a moment and said, it depends on the situation. If personal safety is involved, the crime is punishable by death. If someone threatens a member of the 9th Bureau, it is of course a felony. But Bai Yunfei was just a warning. It can even be said that it was an angry remark made by Yi Mo when he was angered. Very good. Yi Mo can't control that much. He now wants to strangle all those who can threaten him in the cradle. When he interrupted Gao Yuenshin's meridians, he thought that Gao Yuenshin would be a useless person for the rest of his life. Unexpectedly, he still underestimated Lan Xing's medical skills. And he also ignored that there were people behind Gaoyuan Mountain. What's this? This is how wildfires can't be burned out but spring breeze blows again. Of course, the most important thing is that in Blue Star, murder is illegal and this idea is deeply rooted. But since coming into contact with the 9 games, everything is different from what I imagined. How could he be soft-hearted at this time? Without saying a word, he pretended to put his hand deep under the table, and a spiritual sword appeared in his hand. The next second, he appeared among the disciples of Black Tiger clan. Black Tiger sect is just a small sect. Those who can come here to eat are almost all core disciples of Black Tiger clan, and their lowest strength is Zon level. However, regardless of whether it is Zon level or Earth level, in front of Yimo now, there are just a bunch of fruits and vegetables, one with a sword. Puff puff puff. After 3 sword blows, 3 people fell straight down. They didn't know what happened until they died. You, stop. Bai Yunfei was furious. He never dreamed that Yimo would take action directly. In his impression, people in the 9th Bureau generally do not kill people. More often, they focus on education. And usually it's after the fact. This was also the reason why he dared to threaten Yimo. However, this time he miscalculated. Yimo didn't even blink. Slashing all the way, with the knife raised and lowered. In just a few breaths, the dozen disciples brought by Bai Yunfei all fell to the ground, and their blood spread all over the living room. Until this moment, Bai Yunfei's eyes exuded endless fear. He knew that Yimo was very strong, but he didn't expect that the dozen or so people he brought were like chickens being killed, unable to even escape. Can't beat it at all. This is the only thought in Bai Yunfei's mind. Escape. Bai Yunfei couldn't muster any fighting spirit at all. However, before he could turn around and escape, Yimo pierced his heart with a sword. After dealing with Bai Yunfei, Yimo walked towards Gaoyuan Mountain. Still without any nonsense, the spiritual weapon sword swept across. Gao Yuanshan could only watch helplessly, unable to even dodge. Stop. A woman's voice sounded. Yimo didn't seem to hear it. Puff. Gao Yuanshan's head fell directly to the ground. It rolled down several meters before stopping. At this time, the hall was as silent as a cicada. In fact, many of them knew Yimo. But they were all videos of fighting Zhang Haofeng. Seeing it with my own eyes at this moment was very shocking. In just a short time, the Black Tiger clan was wiped out. Some small sects began to whisper. I heard that Yimo has joined the 9th Bureau. Master, please be more restrained in your actions in the future. Zongmin, why don't we turn ourselves in? We just go to the foot-washing city. It shouldn't be a big problem. Master, let's make long-term plans for the land in Xicheng. Yimo's battle made some martial artists who wanted to attack ordinary people feel a little scared. Yimo wiped the spiritual weapon sword, then put it into his waist and disappeared in an instant. Then he looked towards the door. He saw a woman in her 20s angrily walking towards him with a group of security guards. Liao Qing walked to Yimo and said softly, "This is Feng Mingwen's daughter, Feng Yuyan. I told you to stop just now, why did you stop?" Feng Yuyan heard someone making trouble in the living room and rushed over immediately. But she didn't expect that when she arrived, she saw more than a dozen corpses. "Why should I listen to you?" Yimo said lightly. "You kill people in my house, and you are still justified." Yimo's attitude made Feng Yuyan very unhappy. But when she saw Yimo and Liao Qing standing together, she thought that Yimo might be from the 9th Bureau. Only then did no one take down Yimo. "Beauty, you need to understand the situation. They are threatening my people in the 9th Bureau. If I don't kill them, can I keep them for the new year?" Based on the principle that beautiful women must check. When Feng Yuyan walked into the hall, Yimo started character exploration. What surprised Yimo was that the opponent turned out to be Zillingan. However, what made Yimo slightly unhappy was that Liao Qing said that this was Feng Mingwen's daughter. In other words, the other party was already married and had hired a son-in-law. "You are from the 9th Bureau, which branch?" It was confirmed that Yimo was from the 9th Bureau. Feng Yuyan naturally had nothing to say. But she was a little curious. This person didn't behave like the 9th Bureau at all. "Yangchang," Yimo replied, then glanced at Liao Qing and walked directly towards the door. But just after taking 2 steps, Feng Yuyan asked again, "What is your name?" Yimo did not reply to her, but asked in Liao Qing's ear, "How many daughters does Feng Mingwen have?" "Just ask, why are you sneaking around? My ears are itching from your breath." Liao Qing said angrily. "Yeah, I understand." Yi nodded, but smiled bitterly in his heart. Why are the 2 Zillingans both children of big families? What do you understand? You don't want to. Liao Qing covered her mouth with a look of surprise. Why do you think that? Am I that kind of person? Yimo's brows were almost twisted into the character, Chuan. Why, Liao Qing can even think of this. What do I think? No, you really don't think so, do you? Liao Qing's eyes suddenly widened, but he felt very uncomfortable in his heart. He couldn't help but said, "Yi Mo, can't you just calm down? Ever since I met Yi Mo." Liao Qing discovered that Yi Mo was either looking for a woman or on the way to find a woman. Yi Mo fell silent and really didn't know how to answer. Return to the top level. About 8 o'clock in the evening. The auction officially begins. Zhao Lingshan walked onto the stage, while Yi Mo, Liao Qing and others were on the right side of the background. In order to prevent anything from happening, Liao Qing and Yi Mo kept watching Zhao Lingshan on the stage. As a queen, Zhao Lingshan also has good hosting skills. Although there are a group of big martial artists sitting below, they don't have stage fright at all. Without further ado, let's open the first pill, which is the marrow cleansing pill just developed by the Feng family. This pill has the effect of cleansing menstruation and cutting marrow. Taking this pill can make an ordinary person instantly become a martial artist. The starting price is 100 million. After Zhao Lingshan introduced marrow cleansing pill, it immediately caused a sensation. 100 million is not much to them. However, I doubt the authenticity of marrow cleansing pill. The Feng family had already thought of this, so they started to play a video. In the video, an ordinary person became a yellow-level martial artist in less than an hour after taking marrow cleansing pill. At this moment, the martial artist below immediately went crazy and started shouting prices. It was finally settled at 1.5 billion. Next, there is the auction of qi and blood pills. The starting price for one pill is 100,000, and the starting price is 100 pills. It was finally settled at 200,000 pieces. But this is just one round, and prices will rise in subsequent rounds. Backstage, the main members of the Feng family gathered together. "Dad, do we really plan to auction this explosive yuan herb? Even we don't know the specific effects of this herb. If someone takes it, they will explode and die instantly." Feng Mingwen looked at his father with a trace of worry on his face. Exploding yuan sao was just a temporary name they gave. They have been studying for 3 years, but they have not yet understood the true function of this herb. "We can't understand this herb anyway. Let's auction a few of it first, just in case someone knows its effects." Feng Zhonghe pondered. "Dad, I always feel that exploding yuan sao is not easy. How about we study it further?" Feng Mingwen didn't want to give up yet. "Second brother, I think this explosive yuan grass is a useless herb. Its medicinal properties are too violent. Even if it is diluted, we cannot absorb it. It is of no use to us at all." Feng Mingzi didn't care about the explosive grass. The time soon came to 10 o'clock in the evening. All qi and blood pills have been auctioned off. The Feng family then started auctioning medicinal herbs. There is a wide variety of herbs at auction. Among them are herbs for refining qi and blood pills, various healing herbs, and even extremely toxic herbs. These herbs are extremely noble to the martial artist. Yaowang Valley and Divine Medicine Hall, the two sects are going crazy bidding. Yi Mo stood outside the door curtain, looking listless. These herbs are ordinary mortal herbs and have no value to him. Liao Qing was very excited when he saw it, because these herbs were subversive to the martial artist. If the Feng family has enough medicinal materials, the number of martial artists in the country will be greatly increased in the future, and their strength will increase several levels. Everyone, this auction is about to come to an end. We still have the last medicinal herb to be auctioned. To be honest, the secondary medicinal herb has unique properties. The Feng family has been studying it for several years and knows little about it. While Zhao Lingshan was explaining, a staff member came onto the stage holding a long box. Opening the box, Zhao Lingshan carefully took out a half-foot-long herb from the box. This herb has 7 leaves with some small stars on the leaves. This is the explosive yuan sao. It has extremely strong medicinal properties. According to researchers, even a heaven-grade expert will explode and die if he takes this small piece of leaf. Because he does not know the specific effects of this medicinal property, the starting price is 1 million. There are 3 trees here. After Zhao Lingshan's introduction, the martial artist in the audience didn't seem interested. They care more about herbs that can increase cultivation. What can I do with such herbs? But whether it was out of face or not, Yao Wengu finally raised the sign and offered 1 million. Our valley master said before we came here, no matter what kind of herbs, our Yaowang Valley will accept them all according to the order. A disciple of Yaowang Valley said loudly. Originally, No one was interested in this medicinal herb, so no one competed with him. Just when Zhao Lingshan was about to make the final decision, Yi Mo walked from the backstage to the audience and shouted, 1.1 million. Yi Mo's face was calm. However, my heart has already turned upside down. Just when Zhao Lingshan took out the explosive yuan grass, Yi Mo felt a wave of spiritual energy. Isn't this the 7-star leaf? 7-star leaf is the main ingredient for refining the violent elixir. The reason why the storm spirit pill is precious is precisely because the 7-star leaf is extremely rare. Yi Mo never expected that the Feng family would have spiritual herbs. And it's also 7-star grass. Yi Mo immediately summoned the system to ask what was going on, but the system still said that Blue Star's spiritual veins were still exhausted. It doesn't know where the 7-star leaf came from. Yi Mo couldn't ask anything, so he simply gave up. The most important thing now is to buy these 3 7-star leaves. This spiritual grass is really important to Yi Mo. Once the violent spirit pill is refined, with Liu Baijian's talent, if he takes the violent spirit pill, even if he does not directly reach the perfection of Qi training, it will definitely not be far away. Moreover, if there are enough violent pills, the implementation of your plan will be greatly accelerated. After Yi Mo made the bid, everyone was stunned. The people in Yaowang Valley were also stunned for a moment. After waiting for the reaction, there was no price increase. Originally, his bid was purely to give face to the Feng family. In the end, Yi Mo took a picture of 3 7-star leaves without any hindrance. Go to the backstage, pay, and get the 7-star leaf. When I came back again, the auction was over. In the dressing room, Zhao Lingshan is removing makeup. Next, we only need to send Zhao Lingshan to the Zhao family, and the mission will be over. Just when Zhao Lingshan was about to finish taking off her makeup, the door was opened, and it was Feng Zonghe and his 2 sons who came. As soon as the 3 fathers and sons of the Feng family arrived, they walked towards Yi Mo. Mr. Yi, thank you for supporting my Feng family. Feng Zonghe had a smile on his face and did not show any contempt for Yi Mo because of his young age. Mr. Yi, I am very curious. Can you tell me why you bought the explosive yuansao? It's all because of hobbies. Mr. Feng, if you still have such herbs, you can give priority to selling them to me. Yi Mo replied, absolutely, but Mr. Yi, the properties of this explosive herbal medicine cannot be controlled. You must not take it directly. Feng Zonghe kindly reminded. Thank you, Mr. Feng, for reminding me. Yi Mo nodded. Well, then I won't disturb Mr. Yi. If you have time, Mr. Yi will come and sit at my Feng's house. Feng Zonghe smiled slightly. Good. After leaving the room, Feng Zonghe's smile disappeared. His brows furrowed slightly. Mingzi, Mingwen, what do you think of Yi Mo? Feng Zonghe looked at his 2 sons. I can't tell. Feng Mingzi shook his head. Dad, the feeling Yi Mo gives me is very different. At his age, I have only felt it with one person. Feng Mingwen was thoughtful. Who? Feng Zonghe asked. Lin Fan. I have seen his previous battle with Zhang Haofang, and tonight he destroyed the Black Tiger clan. I can see from his eyes that he has a completely dismissive look towards these people. This kind of look is something I've only ever experienced from Lin Fan. Feng Mingzi became more and more shocked as he spoke. Second brother, what are you talking about? What about Lin Fan? You're not talking about your good-for-nothing son-in-law, are you? Feng Mingzi looked at his brother with a puzzled look. However, Feng Mingwen did not reply. Don't tell me, I have the same feeling. When I was testing why he wanted to buy the explosive yuansao just now, although he acted very normal and was neither impatient nor impatient, making it difficult for people to see what was in his heart, but I had a feeling it feels like he should know something. Speaking of this, Feng Zonghe raised his eyebrows and continued, immediately monitor Yi Mo 24 hours a day, maybe something will be discovered. Yes. Feng Mingwen nodded immediately. In the dressing room, after sealing and leaving, Yi Mo then asked Liao Qing where the Feng family lived. Yi Mo thought, the Feng family must still have 7-star grass. He planned to find a time to sneak into the Feng family to find out. By the way, find out where the Feng family got these herbs. Julong Lake, the mountainside of Julong Mountain. Liao Qing replied. Julong Lake is located nearly 20 kilometers away from the center of Yangcheng City. Backed by Julong Mountain. Not only have many top-level villa areas been built here, there are also 5-star hotels and forest park. Many wealthy people choose to live here for their retirement. Julong Lake, the Zhao family is also over there, right? Yes, a few kilometers apart. At about 11 o'clock, Yi Mo, Liao Qing and Zhao Lingshan took a car to Zhao's house. As soon as he left Zhonghe building, Yi Mo found many young men and women holding signs at the door of the building. I think she must be a fan of Zhao Lingshan. Normally, Zhao Lingshan might get out of the car and say hello to them, but in these extraordinary times, Zhao Lingshan didn't even roll down the window. It seems that Miss Zhao is still quite popular. Yi Mo was sitting in the passenger seat and turned to look at Zhao Lingshan sitting in the back seat. What's the use of being red? In your eyes, we are just actors. Zhao Lingshan is also a martial artist, but her talent is not high, only yellow level. The reason why she entered the entertainment industry was entirely because of her love for acting and singing. Miss Zhao, don't belittle yourself. You are at the top now, and the Tianyu entertainment you work for is still the property of your Zhao family. Who would really regard you as an actor? Yi Mo searched for Zhao Lingshan. I don't know if it's because of Zhao Lingshan, but the Zhao family is still somewhat well known in the entertainment industry. Although Tianyu Entertainment is nothing in the country, it is definitely one of the best in Zhejiang province. The reason why Yi Mo suddenly paid attention to Zhao Lingshan. This is because it is difficult to find female anchors with spiritual roots when watching live broadcasts nowadays. Either the spiritual roots are too bad or they are not long enough. Originally, he planned to brush up on actresses. But after thinking about it, even if I got it, it would be more troublesome to contact him. Later, he thought, if he had an entertainment company, it would be much simpler. With this idea in mind, Yi Mo sent a message to discuss the next step with Cheng Ying. Cheng Ying quickly replied to the message. Husband, can't you tell whether others have spiritual roots through videos? I have a way to quickly collect more purple spiritual roots. Yi Mo did tell Cheng Ying that he could tell the quality of the spiritual root through the video. What can I do? Yi Mo asked curiously. Do you think there are a lot of women there? Cheng Ying asked back, but before Yi Mo could answer, she continued, the places where there are many young women must be some colleges and universities, and the ones with good looks should be major drama and art colleges. We can hire people to take photos. Their videos are then screened one by one. Well, that's a good idea. In this case, it really saves worry and effort. It's what you were talking about the entertainment company. It suddenly occurred to me that as long as we find someone with spiritual roots, we can recruit actors or singers in the name of the company, and it will be much easier to contact them. Yes, that's a good idea. Yi Mo's mind also opened up. Anyway, I am not short of money now. Not only colleges and universities, but also any good-looking woman can hire someone to take a video. Then contact me as a talent scout. Yi Mo didn't believe that there were so many people in the country, and they still couldn't gather dozens of purple spiritual roots. When we arrived at Zhao's house, it was almost 12 o'clock. Yi Mo said goodbye to Liao Qing. Liao Qing also wanted someone to send Yi Mo back, but Yi Mo said that he had already asked someone to pick him up. After leaving Zhao's house, Yi Mo put an invisibility charm on himself. Then he walked towards the Feng family. The Feng family lives on the mountainside of Julong Mountain, and there is only one villa here. Arriving outside the villa, Yi Mo unfolded his consciousness and found that Feng Zhonghe had returned. Then he jumped up and entered the courtyard. No matter whether inside or outside the hospital, the monitoring equipment and alarm equipment had no response. Entering the hall, Yi Mo went straight to the second floor. Then I found a chair and sat down. Feng Zhonghe, on the other hand, was in the study, sitting on a chair, closing his eyes and relaxing. About 10 minutes later, there was a sound of footsteps downstairs. The visitor has a clear seal. He knocked on the study door. Dad, Yi Mo is gone. Feng Mingwen walked into the study, his face darkened. What's going on? Feng Zhonghe opened his eyes and moved his eyebrows slightly. After Yi Mo left Zhao's house, he suddenly entered the mountain forest and never came out again. I sent people to investigate in the mountains, but no trace was found. Feng Mingwen's face looked a little ugly. He didn't expect that Yi Mo would disappear under his eyes. In fact, Yi Mo had already discovered them. In the later stage of Qi training, his spiritual consciousness can extend up to 500 meters. In addition, Yimo has doubled the amount, and his current spiritual consciousness can extend into the mountains. As soon as he left Zhonghe building, Yimo discovered that Feng Mingwen was following him. Maybe I discovered you. Forget it, you go find Song Bowen tomorrow. As a member of the 9th Bureau, Yimo shouldn't hide it deliberately if he really knows something. Feng Zhonghe thought to himself that if Yimo really knew the use of the exploding yuan grass, he would definitely come after him. Good. Feng Mingwen nodded and then prepared to leave the study. Wait a minute, ask Xiaofan to come. Feng Zhonghe suddenly said. Xiaofan went to deliver takeout. Feng Mingwen smiled bitterly. It's past 12 o'clock, and you're still delivering takeaways. This girl, Xiaoyan, is getting more and more outrageous. You don't want to take care of her. Feng Zhonghe said angrily. Dad, you also know that Xiaoyan doesn't like Lin Fan at all. We forced this marriage in the first place, and Lin Fan refused to reveal his identity, so I can't say anything. That's all, let Xiaofan come see me tomorrow morning. Yimo could clearly hear the conversations in the living room and study room. Although I didn't hear how the Feng family obtained the spiritual grass. But one thing is certain, Yimo is sure that the Feng family still has 7-star leaf. However, Yimo opened his consciousness and found no spiritual grass in the entire Feng family. Another point is that from the dialogue between the Feng family and his son, it seems that the identity of the Feng family's son-in-law is not simple. Of course, Yimo didn't care about this. After Feng Mingwen left, it didn't take long for Feng Zhonghe to leave the study and return to his bedroom to meditate. For the next full hour, there was no movement from the Feng family. 4 strong innate men have been around the villa. Feng Mingzi and Feng Mingwen are also practicing. Yimo didn't see any of the eldest young men among the 3 generations of the Feng family. You shouldn't be able to hear anything now. Yimo thought for a moment. He had no intention of leaving. What Yimo needs to do now is to know where the Feng family keeps the spiritual grass, and when the time comes, he can just grab it. No matter how invisible he was, no one would know it was him. Thinking of this, Yimo secretly headed to the 3rd floor. There are 6 or 7 rooms on the entire 3rd floor, which should be the rooms where the 3 generations of the Feng family live, but there is no one there now. Yimo found a room at random and started meditating. However, not long after Yimo entered meditation, the room was suddenly opened. Yimo immediately opened his eyes and found Feng Yuyan walking in with bare feet. Then he lay on the bed and scrolled through his phone. Yimo ignored it and continued practicing. But soon, Yimo heard a strange sound. He opened his eyes again, and instantly, there was a surge of anger in his belly. I saw that Feng Yuyan was fooling around with himself. Chapter 91. Nah, it's actually European and American. Yimo immediately circulated his spiritual energy and suppressed the golden kidneys. However, the effect is not good. I don't know if the sound insulation of the room is too good. Feng Yuyan had no scruples. Play to your heart's content. In the end, it even drowned out the sound of the mobile phone. It took a full hour to stop, and then Feng Yuyan walked into the bathroom with bare feet. At this moment, Yimo wanted to sneak out. However, before he could reach the door of the room, Feng Yuyan started calling again in the bathroom. If you are so hungry, then Lin Fan can't be a eunuch. The bathroom is separated by glass. Yimo can clearly see, Feng Yuyan is acting crazy again. It took half an hour to see this. In the end, Yimo left the room while Feng Yuyan was traveling in space. Then Yimo randomly found a room. He took out his mobile phone, clicked on the photo album, and opened the video. It was the video of Yu Yan letting himself go just now. Then Yimo turned off his phone and started practicing again. At 7 o'clock in the morning, Feng Yuyan was still sleeping. Yimo sneaked to the 2nd floor again. Feng Zhonghe had been practicing last night. I just had breakfast and then came to the study again. At about 7:30, Feng Mingwen walked into the study with a young man. This young man was Lin Fan. He didn't come back last night. Now I'm still wearing takeout clothes. Grandpa, why are you in such a hurry to find me? Lin Fan came to Feng Zhonghe. He didn't seem to be at all shy in front of Feng Zhonghe. Xiao Fan, there has been a lot of pressure from above recently. When will we announce the source of this medicinal herb? The pressure in the middle and the recent times is really great. Not only the 9 rounds, the 4 major sects are also putting pressure on him. With so many qi and blood pills, no one wants to know how the Feng family does it. If it weren't for someone above the Feng family who made a promise, the truth would definitely be told soon. The Feng family was afraid that they would have been turned upside down long ago. Half a year, no, 4 months, just give me 4 months, and then we won't have to worry about anyone. Lin Fan said firmly. It seems that after 4 months, he can settle anything. 4 months, I'm afraid it won't last that long. Feng Zhonghe had a frozen face. The boss talks to him almost every few days. He couldn't bear it anymore. Grandpa, don't worry, I will definitely give you an explanation in 4 months. Lin Fan immediately promised. Well, I can only hold on. Alas, I really don't understand why you wanted to announce the Qi blood pill to the public in the first place. Feng Zhonghe shook his head helplessly. Outsiders don't know that the reason why the Feng family has developed rapidly in recent years is all because of Lin Fan. 3 years ago, Feng Zhonghe met Lin Fan, and with Lin Fan's help, he successfully broke through to an 8. Moreover, the cultivation level of the Feng family members has also improved by leaps and bounds. All this is because of Lin Fan's Qi blood pill and marrow cleansing pill. Feng Zhonghe thought that their Feng family could continue to grow in secret. But unexpectedly, Lin Fan suddenly announced the Qi and blood pill more than 2 months ago. The Feng family had no choice but to sell qi and blood pills. Grandpa, you must believe me, I have my own plan. Lin Fan said. Okay, I won't ask any more questions about you. Feng Zhonghe waved his hand. Then I'll go to work first. Yun'er's birthday will be in a few days. I have to make money to buy her a gift. Lin Fan finished speaking, then left the study. Yi Mo in the living room squinted his eyes and looked at Lin Fan, who was going downstairs. He thought for a while, then got up and went downstairs. Downstairs, Lin Fan drove a BYD electric car out of the villa. Yi Mo flashed and came outside the courtyard, then disappeared into the woods. In the car, Lin Fan took out his cell phone and prepared to take the order. At this moment, a woman's voice suddenly came to his mind. Xiaofan, something is wrong. What's the matter, sister? Lin Fan immediately braked. The woman's voice in my mind was obviously a little panicked. This is the first time he has encountered such a thing. Something's wrong. From the moment you entered the Feng family to the moment you left the courtyard, I always felt like someone was watching you secretly. The woman was very puzzled. Logically speaking, if someone was spying on Lin Fan, she would not be able to detect it. But the strange thing is that the feeling of being spied on has always been looming. Impossible. Did you feel wrong? Could it be the 4 innates in the 9th round? Lin Fan is still very confident in his own strength. If someone is spying on you secretly, you will definitely feel it. I don't know. Xiaofan, during this period, you'd better prepare more red soul pills as soon as possible to avoid unnecessary complications. The red soul pill in the woman's mouth actually refers to the qi and blood pill. It's just that no one knows. The function of the red soul pill is not only to improve one's cultivation, but its greatest function is to control one's mind. The more red soul pills you take, the easier it is for him to control you. This is also the reason why Lin Fan wants to announce the qi and blood pill. All he wants is control over all martial artists. I know. Lin Fan nodded heavily, a cold look flashed in his eyes. Yi Mo entered the mountain forest and then removed the invisibility charm. Then he swaggered towards the Feng family courtyard. Come to the gate and press the doorbell. Soon a servant opened the courtyard door. I asked Mr. Feng and told him that Yi Mo was here. Wait a moment. This servant didn't know Yi Mo, but he still went to report. Not long after, Feng Mingwen came over in person. Mr. Yi, please come inside. Feng Mingwen was surprised and happy when he heard that Yi Mo had arrived. So he came in a hurry. Then he took Yi Mo to the study. Mr. Yi, I wonder why you came to me so early. Yi Mo suddenly came to visit, and Feng Zhonghe roughly guessed the reason, so he was still looking forward to it. Last night, I studied the explosive Yuan Sao all night. I always felt that I had some clues, but I couldn't grasp it, so I wanted to buy some more explosive Yuan Sao from the old man. From the conversation between Feng Zhonghe and Lin Fan just now, it is not difficult to tell that these qi and blood pills and medicinal herbs were most likely made by Lin Fan. This made Yimo feel a little surprised. Just now, he used his spiritual consciousness to continuously check Lin Fan, and found that the opponent's internal energy was extremely strong. If Yimo guessed correctly, Lin Fan should be the legendary Grandmaster. Yimo has never fought against a Grandmaster. In order to avoid any accidents, Yimo finally plans to start from Feng Zhonghe. Oh, tell me more specifically. Feng Zhonghe asked with a frown. 3 explosive herbs. I have already eaten them. The medicinal properties are indeed very strong. The energy in the herbs is very destructive and completely uncontrollable. I only ate half a leaf at first and it almost damaged my body. Meridians, but after I ate a few leaves, I discovered that the energy in the medicinal herbs can be said to be violent or pure, but I can't use it. Quote. Yimo finished speaking in one breath. In fact, whether it is 7-star leaf or other spiritual herbs, ordinary people feel this way when taking it. Only by cultivating immortal skills can this energy be refined. Then how do you think we can solve this problem? Feng Zhonghe did not doubt Yimo's words. Only people who take explosive yuan grass know this feeling. I plan to mix it with other herbs. Yimo replied. I didn't expect that Mr. Yi is also very proficient in medicinal herbs. Okay, you wait here first, and I will immediately send someone to get some explosive essence grass. Feng Zhonghe glanced at Feng Mingwen. Feng Mingwen took Yimo to the lobby on the first floor to wait. Then Feng Mingwen said that the place where the spiritual grass was taken was relatively far away, so Yimo should not be anxious. Finally, he asked Yimo if he had breakfast. Yimo was not polite and shook his head directly. Feng Mingwen gave instructions to his servants and took Yimo to the restaurant. Yimo walked into the restaurant and found that Feng Yuyan was also eating in the restaurant. Why are you here? Feng Yuyan looked at Yimo in surprise. Come and buy some herbs. Yimo smiled. Because she had just woken up, Feng Yuyan did not put on makeup and was wearing a pajama dress, but it did not affect her appearance at all. Yimo glanced up and down several times. Not to mention, when you put on clothes, your feeling has changed. Looks extremely pure. Feng Yuyan felt uncomfortable looking at Yimo. Why is this person like this? Why is he staring at me all the time? Is he not wearing Wenuexiong? Is there something missing? Feng Yuyan looked down subconsciously. Fortunately, everything is normal. At this time, the servants had already prepared breakfast for Yimo. Yimo sat opposite Feng Yuyan and started eating. You haven't told me yet, what's your name? Seeing Yimo minding his meal, Feng Yuyan felt bored and took the initiative to find a topic. Yimo. Yimo replied without even raising his head. How old are you and what's your position in the 9th Bureau? Feng Yuyan then asked. Why are you still being interrogated? Yimo didn't reply to her, but asked abruptly, Miss Feng, I'm very curious, can you tell me how your Feng family obtained so many qi and blood pills? I don't know, I'm not interested in that. Feng Yuyan didn't even think about it. Although she is a member of the Feng family, she is not interested in the martial artist circle at all. I never take the initiative to learn about martial artist. This is why he doesn't even recognize Yimo. Oh. Yimo felt that Feng Yuyan was not lying. Originally, he wanted to use last night's video to learn something from Feng Yuyan, but it seemed that he was miscalculating. I think martial artists should not exist on Blue Star. These people can only use brute force. If they can't defeat others, they will use force to solve the problem. This approach is very shameful. Feng Yuyan said coldly. Such a big prejudice against martial artists. Yimo was speechless. Why does this woman have double standards? If the Feng family was not a martial artist family, how could it have grown so big? This is to get a bargain and act well. It's not a prejudice, it's a fact. In my opinion, martial artists are simple-minded people who never use their brains when encountering problems. Feng Yuyan didn't know what he thought of, and his face was condensed. You're right. Yimo immediately nodded, ending the topic, and then looked up at Feng Yuyan. Why are you looking at me like this again? For some reason, every time Yimo looked at her, Feng Yuyan always felt his heartbeat a little faster. She had rarely felt this way. Although Yimo is also a martial artist, in Zhonghe Building, Yimo did not hesitate to destroy the Black Tiger Gate. It can be seen that Yimo is a decisive person. This is many times better than Lin Fan. No, how could I compare Lin Fan to Yi Mo? Lin Fan is just a despicable person who only wants to please his father and grandfather. She always felt that Lin Fan must have other plans for her Feng family. His grandfather must have been deceived by Lin Fan. Sooner or later, she will expose Lin Fan's true face. There's a grain of porridge in the corner of your mouth. Yi Mo pointed to the corner of his lips. Ah, why didn't you tell me earlier? How long has it been? Feng Yuyan immediately wiped it with his hands. It was there when I came here. Yi Mo smiled. You, eat slowly by yourself. Feng Yuyan stood up immediately and hurried towards the stairs. Yi Mo smiled lightly. After breakfast, Yi Mo came to the lobby. About half an hour later, Feng Mingwen walked in with a bag. Mr. Yi, there are a total of 10 explosive essence grasses here. Feng Mingwen handed the bag to Yi Mo. How to pay? Yi Mo took the bag and was secretly happy. A 7-star leaf can theoretically refine 10 violent pills. Of course, this depends on the skill level of the alchemist. If you can usually refine more than 6 pieces, you are a qualified alchemist. Now Yi Mo has a total of 13 7-star leaves. As expected, he can refine 100 violent spirit pills, which should be enough. It's just 10 herbs, no need to pay. Mr. Yi, if you can understand the explosion of Yuansao, you will benefit from it in the future. Feng Yuyan smiled slightly. Then I'm not welcome. Give me a few months. If I have news, I'll inform you immediately. After getting the 7-star leaf, Yi Mo didn't want to keep it too much. Next, he still had important things to do. There are only 5 days left to transmigrate. His speed pushed the immortal body to the highest level. Okay, how do you go back, Mr. Yi? Do you want me to send someone to take you back to the city? Feng Mingwen asked. Yi Mo thought for a while. It was indeed far from the city, and it was in a mountainous area. It was not convenient to take a taxi, so he wanted to nod. At this moment, Feng Yuyan happened to come down from upstairs. I happen to be going to the company, let me take you there. Thank you very much, Miss Feng. Feng Yuyan drove a luxury car worth tens of millions, and the car drove very smoothly on the road. Yi Mo was sitting in the passenger seat, lost in thought. He was thinking about how to refine the violent elixir. If you let others refine it, more than a dozen 7-star leaves will definitely arouse others' suspicion, and they may be swallowed, or even cause death. If you refine it yourself. After transmigrate returns, Cheng Ying and Yang Siqi will give birth to children in a few days, and will be rewarded with 7 years of life. The 7 years of longevity are used to improve the level of alchemy. Not surprisingly, one can definitely become a qualified first-grade alchemist. But Yi Mo also wants to improve Luo Yubu. Once Luo Yubu great accomplishment, his strength will be greatly enhanced. What are you thinking about? Feng Yuyan asked curiously when he saw Yi Mo was silent. I'm thinking, I don't know what kind of bad luck Lin Fan got, to be able to marry a woman as beautiful as Miss Feng. Yi Mo said half-jokingly. During Feng Zonghai's conversation, it seemed that Feng Yuyan and Lin Fan were not on good terms. Yi Mo thought to himself, he didn't know if he could be Cao's thief again. After all, purple spirit roots are quite rare. Do you really think I'm good-looking? Hearing Yi Mo praise himself, Feng Yuyan couldn't help but start to feel his heart beat faster again. No way, I'm not the only one saying that, right? Yi Mo pretended to be exaggerated. Giggle, of course not, it's just superficial flattery. Feng Yuyan laughed happily. I'm not trying to flatter you, Miss Feng. I wonder if you're free tonight. Let's have dinner together. Yi Mo felt like it was interesting. Are you serious? Feng Yuyan subconsciously tightened his grip on the steering wheel. Of course I'm serious. I think I'm no worse than Lin Fan, and I also see that Miss Feng doesn't like Lin Fan. It's just because of the pressure from her family. I can't imagine how Miss Feng got here all these years. Being with someone you don't like is like a prison. Yi Mo increased his power. Feng Yuyan couldn't help but tremble with his hands. He felt that Yi Mo understood him very well, but why couldn't his grandfather and father see this? Give yourself a chance and I can help you get rid of it. Yi Mo grabbed Feng Yuyan's hand on the steering wheel. Feng Yuyan's whole body felt like an electric shock. She stepped on the brakes instinctively, and then looked at Yi Mo with wide eyes. Aren't you afraid of my grandpa? Why should you be afraid? For the person you like, you should move forward without hesitation. God, I'm sorry, I lied again. Yi Mo's words gave Feng Yuyan a heavy blow. She has indeed lived a relatively depressed life in recent years. Because of Lin Fan's relationship, I don't know how many people were talking behind his back. She even asked her grandfather to divorce Lin Fan many times, but she was severely scolded by her grandfather. Do you really like me? Feng Yuyan looked straight at Yi Mo. Yi Mo nodded without hesitation. Snap. The seat belt was opened, and Feng Yuyan pounced directly on Yi Mo. No scruples, no hesitation. This caught Yi Mo off guard. Yi Mo immediately unfolded his consciousness. No one was following him, and there were no cameras nearby. Then he took out the concealment formation flag. The battle began quickly. Feng Yuyan had indeed suppressed it for too long and let it go to his heart's content. She also didn't remember her many trips into space. She had never experienced this feeling before. My whole body was about to melt. Ah, no, you can't be pregnant, right? Feng Yuyan suddenly panicked. Her mind went blank just now and she completely forgot about the precautionary measures. It's okay to be pregnant, I don't mind. This is the effect you want. And Yi Mo did use one hit to hit just now. No, if I'm really pregnant, I can't tell Grandpa. Feng Yuyan frowned. What's there to say? Isn't pregnancy normal? Yi Mo asked confused. You don't understand. Although I am married to Lin Fan, he has never even touched my hand. No, I will buy some medicine later. Feng Yuyan immediately started the car and drove towards the city. Yi Mo didn't dissuade him. But I still want to laugh in my heart. Lin Fan and Feng Yuyan have been married for several years, but they have never even touched each other. What kind of weird thing is this? Could it be that Lin Fan practices boy kung fu? Half an hour later, Feng Yuyan came to a pharmacy and bought some medicine. Yi Mo sat in the car and saw that Feng Yuyan also bought a handful of Smurfs. There are at least a dozen packages of this one. Back in the car, Feng Yuyan asked Yi Mo seriously as if nothing had happened, where are you going to go? How about I go home first and see you again in the evening? As the game got bigger, Yi Mo felt that Feng Yuyan would not let him go until he consumed all the dozen packs of Smurfs. Well, I get off work at 7 o'clock in the evening. You can wait for me at the cafe opposite Zhonghe building. Feng Yuyan was slightly disappointed when he heard that Yi Mo was going home. But think about it, if you bring Yi Mo to the company, you are afraid that someone will gossip about you. Feng Yuyan found an intersection and dropped Yi Mo off, then drove to the company alone. Yi Mo took a taxi back to Meixin Manor. Yi Mo briefly discussed the entertainment company's affairs with Cheng Ying, then gave her a few hundred kilograms of gold and gave her full authority to handle it. Then he went to Zhao Shaohan for training. At 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Yi Qingmei called and said that she had bought a villa and asked Yi Mo to come over quickly. The villa Yi Qingmei bought was also in Yinzhou district, very close to the city. The price is not high, it is a townhouse villa called Gemdale, Washington. As soon as Yi Mo and Zhao Shaohan arrived at the villa, Yi Qingmei and Zhao Shaohan started talking. In the end, it collapsed due to disagreements. Yi Mo had no choice but to go out on the excuse that he had something to do. After leaving Jindi, Washington, Yi Mo thought for a while and decided to take Zhao Shaohan out alone. At this stage, Yi Mo really needs Zhao Shaohan more. This matter is also difficult to explain. Come to the coffee shop opposite Zhonghe building. At about 7:10, Feng Yuyan finally arrived. Where should we go next? Feng Yuyan's face was red and tender. Today can be said to be the most difficult day. During the meeting, his mind wandered from time to time, and Yi Mo's figure was all in his mind. How about going to your house? It won't work if you keep messing around. Yi Mo's purpose is to make Yu Yan pregnant. But the current situation is obviously unrealistic. Yi Mo just thought about it for a long time. The only way to let Feng Yuyan give birth to a child for him openly is to let Feng Zhonghe recognize him. If he wanted Feng Zhonghe to recognize him, the first thing Yi Mo thought of was the qi and blood pill. Yi Mo thought to himself that the elixir cultivated by martial artists would definitely be more effective in the water moon realm than the Feng family's qi and blood elixir. A family like the Feng family must put interests first. As long as they have more value, Feng Zhonghe should know how to choose. Why are you going to my house? Feng Yuyan asked confused. I want to talk to your grandfather about you. Yimo didn't hide it. It's useless. My grandfather has identified Lin Fan. Even if I threaten him with death, he won't let go. Feng Yuyan shook his head in frustration. It doesn't matter if you give it a try. Don't worry, I won't act recklessly. Yimo affectionately smoothed the hair in front of Feng Yuyan's forehead. Yimo didn't want to go straight in and met Feng Zonghe again just to get a feel for what he was talking about. He doesn't have absolute strength yet, so stepping directly into Heiko will only make people feel frivolous. When you are strong enough, everything will go naturally. Finally, Feng Yuyan agreed, and the two drove to Julong Mountain. Came to the Feng family again. Feng Mingwen was a little surprised. He didn't know why Yimo came again. And he came with his daughter. Feng Mingwen looked at Feng Yuyan suspiciously, but didn't think much about it. Yimo proposed to talk to Feng Zonghe about the qi and blood pill. Feng Mingwen informed him and took Yimo to Feng Zonghe's study. Old man, I wonder if you can give me some qi and blood pills. Walking into the study, Yimo asked. He was not interested in qi and blood pills, he was mainly looking for an entry point. Oh, did you find anything? Feng Zonghe looked at his son. Feng Mingwen nodded and left the study, probably to get the qi and blood pill. I'm not sure yet, but I feel that the explosive yuan grass is related to this qi and blood pill, so I want to verify it. Yimo said nonsense. How do you say it? Feng Zonghe suddenly became interested. I feel that the energy in the exploding yuan grass is from the same source as the qi and blood pill. When I study the exploding yuan grass thoroughly, maybe I can prepare a better qi and blood pill. Yimo said with confidence. Impossible. Feng Zonghe shook his head without thinking, and then said, my Feng family has been studying this qi and blood pill for 3 years, tried countless methods, and finally got the result. The current qi and blood pill is the best good qi and blood pill. Mr. Feng, have you ever thought that in this world, not only your Feng family has the herbs for qi and blood pills, but maybe I also have them, and the herbs I use may be better than the Feng family's herbs? Yimo smiled lightly. Yimo does have this confidence. Although he didn't know where the Feng family's medicinal herbs came from. But there is no way that the herbs grown in the Water Moon realm can't be as good as the Feng family's herbs. Really, can you let me see your herbs? Feng Zonghe narrowed his eyes slightly. He didn't believe what Yimo said. But Yimo actually acted so confident that he couldn't tell the truth from the lie. It's not mature yet, it will take a few months. Yimo didn't care whether Feng Zonghe believed it or not, and continued, Mr. Feng, if I develop a better qi and blood pill, then I hope to use the Feng family's channels. Now that the qi and blood pill has been released. So no matter what the reason is, Yimo will transport the elixir cultivated by martial artist from the Water Moon realm. This way you can quickly increase your strength. That's natural. If you can develop a better qi and blood pill and use my Feng family's channels, it will be my Feng family's honor. Feng Zonghe really couldn't understand Yimo. If someone else said something like this to him, he would definitely dismiss it. But the feeling Yimo gave him was really different. It's just a win-win situation. Yimo smiled slightly. The first step has been completed, at least the seeds have been planted. By the time he returns from the Water Moon realm, the seeds should have taken root and sprouted. When the time comes, Feng Zonghe should know how to choose. At this time, Feng Mingwen brought a few qi and blood pills and handed them to Yimo. Yimo took it, pretended to look at it carefully, then put it in his pocket and said, I will study it when I get back, but now I see that this qi and blood pill is really not that good. After saying that, Yimo left the study. Feng Mingwen sent him to the first floor. Feng Yuyan was still in the lobby on the first floor. Yimo winked at her, walked out of the hall, and drove away from the villa. Why are you leaving now? Feng Yuyan almost said what was in his heart. She just kept thinking about how to keep Yimo overnight. Unexpectedly, Yimo ran away without saying a word. Looking at the Porsche that had gone away, Feng Yuyan was furious, stamped his feet, and hurried back to his room. Dead Yimo, stinky Yimo. Feng Yuyan picked up the pillow and smashed it twice. Then he took out his cell phone and wanted to send a message to Yimo. But I feel angry. Why should I take the initiative to send a message to Yimo? At this time, doesn't he have to explain to himself? Coward, you tricked me into going home, but you sneaked away yourself. I will catch you tomorrow and tie you to my side. The more Feng Yuan thought about it, the angrier he became, and he pinched the pillow fiercely. Then he took off his clothes and prepared to take a shower. I don't know if it's because when people take a bath, they always tend to have their own thoughts. Feng Yuan couldn't help but recall being in the car with Yi Mo during the day, so he started to act nonsense again. He shouted Yi Mo's name from time to time. What's the matter, you keep calling me? At this moment, Yi Mo's voice suddenly appeared outside the bathroom. Across the glass, the two looked at each other. Ah, ah, ah. Feng Yuan was stunned for 3 seconds, thinking he was dazzled. After confirming that it was Yi Mo, he immediately shouted. Yi Mo had already expected it, so he played an insulation note in advance. Then he flashed, entered the bathroom, and then covered Feng Yuan's lips. Keep your voice down, don't let your grandpa hear it. What are you? Feng Yuan looked in disbelief. She couldn't understand why Yi Mo suddenly appeared. She watched Yi Mo leave. And she knew very well how strictly guarded her family was. No one can sneak in. Don't be surprised. Brother has many methods. Not to mention you're sealing the family, I can come and go from the White House freely. Yi Mo said lightly. Real. Feng Yuan expressed doubts. But she hoped that she really had this ability. If so, wouldn't Yi Mo be able to come to his room every night? It's a little exciting just thinking about it. No doubt about it. Because the shower was still on, Yi Mo's clothes were all wet. Yi Mo took the opportunity to take off his clothes and pretended to complain. It's already May, why are you still taking a bath with such hot water? We girls are all like this. Feng Yuan glanced at Yi Mo's strong muscles. He didn't know if it was because of the hot water, but his body was heating up rapidly. His body softened, his feet slipped, and he fell directly onto Yi Mo. 300,000 words are omitted here. 12 p.m. Feng Yuan lay on Yi Mo like an octopus. He didn't even want to move his eyelids. Yi Mo thought it was almost time to go back. But just as he was about to get up, Feng Yuan hummed softly, then opened his big watery eyes. Don't go. Okay, I won't leave. Seeing Feng Yuan's appearance, Yi Mo couldn't bear it. Finally stayed. January 7th, 7 o'clock in the morning. With Feng Yuan reluctant to leave, Yi Mo quietly left the Feng family. Then he took out the car from the system space and drove to the city. After driving about 3 kilometers, we came to the highway. Just when Yi Mo wanted to speed up, suddenly there was a roar of cars behind him, accompanied by the sound of gunshots. Yi Mo immediately slowed down and unfolded his divine consciousness. I saw it less than 100 meters away from me. A black Volkswagen was driving rapidly. Behind the black Volkswagen, followed closely by a white SUV. 2 men in black stuck their heads out, holding rifles in their hands, and fired at the Volkswagen. Not long after, the wheel of the Volkswagen was hit, and with a crash, it hit the roadside fence. The white SUV immediately braked, and then 3 men walked out of the car. How could it be Yang Ding? Yi Mo immediately braked and rushed towards the 3 men. When the 3 men saw Yi Mo, they seemed to recognize him. Without saying a word, they shot directly at Yi Mo. Yi Mo thought and played a golden light talisman. Then he jumped up high, and a silver longbow suddenly appeared in his hand. Without any hesitation, he directly drew the bowstring to full capacity. 3 spiritual energy arrows were shot out instantly. Puff! 3 men were killed instantly. Yi Mo didn't even look at them. He quickly ran to Yang Ding's car, ripped off the deformed door, and pulled Yang Ding out. Captain Yang, what's going on? Yi Mo said in a deep voice. It's Tu Lai. He led his men to attack the Zhao family. Yang Ding's face was covered in blood at the moment, and he had been shot several times. Yi Mo took out a healing elixir and asked him to take it. Is Liao Qing also in the Zhao family? Yi Mo asked immediately. Director Song is here, but they were all injured by Tu Lai. Yang Ding took the elixir and his complexion suddenly became much better. You heal here first. After Yi Mo finished speaking, he did not drive, but directly used the lightning technique and ran quickly towards the Zhao family. Inside the Zhao family villa, the lobby on the first floor. Whether they were direct or collateral members of the Zhao family, or even members of the 9th Bureau, they were all arrested by Tu. Zhao Tianlei even slumped down on a chair. His face was pale and colorless. Zhao Tianlei, you didn't expect today to happen. 20 years ago, I swore to you that I would kill everyone in your Zhao family. Tu Lai grabbed a teenage boy and chopped off his head without hesitation. Blood instantly filled the entire hall. Come butcher, come butcher. Zhao Tianlei, who was lying on the chair, spoke with extreme reluctance. Angry. Very good. What I want is this feeling from you. When you killed my wife and children in front of me, have you ever thought about how I felt at that time? Tu Lai's eyes were scarlet, as if he was in a daze. At this time, Tu Lai was like a bloodthirsty demon, and everyone in the Zhao family was frightened. Even the people in the 9th Bureau felt a little frightened when they saw Tu Lai looking like this. Song Bowen was covered in blood and his chest was dented. He was obviously seriously injured. Liao Qing's injury was not serious, and she was supporting Song Bowen at the moment. Tu Lai, I don't know your grudges 20 years ago, but now you are killing these weak ordinary people wantonly. You are undoubtedly seeking your own death. Song Bowen's face turned green and white. He originally thought that Tu Lai would not be so blatant and would kill the Zhao family secretly, but unexpectedly, Tu Lai went straight into the Zhao family, completely ignoring his presence in the 9th round. Ordinary people, why didn't I see you say that 20 years ago? Why weren't you there when Zhao Tianlei killed my wife and children? Tu Lai's eyes widened with anger. She casually grabbed another little girl and was about to chop it down with the big knife in her hand. Tu Lai, I killed your wife, you still don't know why. She is from the island country, she is from the shadows, she is lurking next to you just to steal the secrets of our country. It has been 20 years, why can't you figure it out yet? Zhao Tianlei's lips trembled. He once treated Tu Lai as his own son and had high expectations for him, but Tu Lai was fascinated by a woman. Or by a spy from an island country. When he learned about this, he killed Tu Lai's wife and the unborn child on the spot. But Zhao Tianlei could never take action against Tu Lai, so he just drove him out. However, it was his soft-heartedness at that time that caused the catastrophe today. I don't believe it. This is just your one-sided statement. Tu Lai roared angrily. At this moment, he stopped talking nonsense and slashed directly at the little girl with his big knife. At this critical moment, Liao Qing took action. A thin steel wire suddenly appeared in her hand, and the steel wire instantly wrapped around Tu Lai's wrist. Then she pulled hard. However, Tu Lai remained motionless. The steel wire was blocked by a burst of energy from the wrist. Do you think I dare not kill you in the 9th round? Tu Lai flipped his wrist, grabbed the wire and pulled. Liao Qing's whole body was pulled to Tu Lai uncontrollably. Tu Lai stretched out his left hand and instantly grabbed Liao Qing's neck. Liao Qing suddenly felt a sense of suffocation and his eyes turned red. Stop, Song Bowen shouted, but the injury on his body was affected, and a mouthful of blood spurted out. The other members of the 9th Bureau wanted to rescue, but were controlled by Tu Lai's men. Anyone who stands in my way will die. A cold light flashed in Tu Lai's eyes. He lifted Liao Qing up and kicked Liao Qing in the abdomen. Liao Qing felt a huge force coming from him, and his body flew backwards like a piece of paper. At the same time, a violent internal force instantly destroyed the meridians in her body. Puff! Blood spurted out of her mouth immediately. With a bang, Liao Qing fell heavily to the ground, his body couldn't stop shaking, and blood kept flowing out of his mouth. No one in the Zhao family can survive today. Tu Lai raised the sword again. At this moment, a figure flashing with golden light rushed over at great speed. The person coming was Yi Mo. He ignored Tu Lai and quickly came to Liao Qing's side. Then he immediately gave Liao Qing a pill. The spiritual energy poured into Liao Qing's body, causing the elixir to be consumed quickly. Soon Liao Qing's injury stabilized, and Liao Qing slowly opened his eyes. It's okay. Yi Mo picked up Liao Qing. His right hand still injected spiritual energy into Liao Qing's body. Liao Qing suddenly felt that the pain in his body had eased a lot. You are Yi Mo, I thought you wouldn't come. Tu Lai wanted to destroy the Zhao family this time, so he naturally knew the members of Yangcheng 9th Bureau very well. Through Yi Mo's record, Tu Lai knew that Yi Mo was the strongest. Of course, since he is innate now, he naturally doesn't take Yi Mo seriously. You take your people from the 9th Bureau and leave now, and I can let you live. Tu Lai said coldly that he was still very afraid of the 9th round and did not dare to go too far. I don't even dare to touch her with a finger. Yi Mo said something abruptly. Then, a silver sword suddenly appeared in front of him. The blade of the sword shone with silver light. What is this? Tu Lai's eyes suddenly widened. He couldn't understand why a sword could stand in the air out of thin air. Especially the silver light made him feel an unprecedented crisis. Without any time to think about it, Tu Lai immediately held the big knife in his hand, and the blade suddenly emitted a ray of light several meters long, slashing hard at Yi Mo. After innate, you can release your inner strength outwards. It is several times more powerful than blade intent. However, Yi Mo did not dodge and allowed the sword light to hit the golden light talisman. Golden light talisman suddenly glowed brightly. But soon, the light dimmed a lot. Impossible, Tu Lai cried out. He didn't expect that Yi Mo could withstand his attack. What is this golden light? Not to mention Tu Lai, even Song Bowen and the people from the 9th Bureau were surprised. Tu Lai definitely used all his strength in this attack, but Yi Mo didn't move at all. The eyes of the Zhao family all showed hope. Especially Zhao Lingshan, whose beautiful eyes looked directly at Yi Mo. Yi Mo ignored everyone. I saw his left hand move slightly. The long sword in front of him made a sword sound, and then the long sword directly threw out a silver shadow. Puff puff. Depart from Tu Lai. The long sword was like a ray of light and shadow, instantly penetrating Tu Lai's body. Then came a group of men brought over by Tu Lai. In just a few seconds, everyone was gone. Even Tu Lai was no exception. What the hell is this? Tu Lai looked at Yi Mo with wide eyes wide open. Originally, if he had prepared his defense in advance, the spiritual energy sword would not have killed him so easily. But he never expected that the sword would attack him in this way. And the speed was extremely fast, leaving him no time to react. Make a room for me. Yi Mo looked at Zhao Tianlei, who was still in shock. Liao Qing's meridians were damaged and all his internal organs were injured. Yi Mo had to help her digest the elixir himself in order to completely recover from her injuries. Zhao Tianlei didn't seem to react yet, because everything happened too fast. Go to my room, Zhao Lingshan said immediately. Then he hurried to the second floor. Yi Mo immediately followed Liao Qing with his arms in his arms. Go into the room. Yi Mo put Liao Qing on the bed. Then Yi Mo gently placed his hand on Liao Qing's mouth. Yi Mo stopped after a full hour. The injury has been stabilized, but it still needs to be nursed back to health. Yi Mo asked her to have a good rest and then went to the lobby on the first floor. Song Bowen also went to recover from his injuries, leaving only a few members of the 9th Bureau in the Zhao family. Zhao Tianlei was still sitting on the chair, and his face was still very pale, but it was obvious that someone had helped him. Master Zhao, I heard Zhao Lingshan say that as long as whoever kills Tu Lai, the Zhao family will submit to him, right? Brother Yi, if you think highly of my Zhao family will be your vassal from today on. Zhao Tianlei stood up slowly and bowed to Yi Mo. Good. Yi Mo did not refuse, and then looked at Zhao Lingshan and said, go to Villa number 1 of Meixin Manor now. There are some things I need you to do. The last time Yi Mo came to the Zhao family, he checked the Zhao family members and found that no one had spiritual roots. But the Zhao family still has some abilities. At least there's plenty of money. It just happened to be able to help Yi Mo solve the entertainment company's problems. Zhao Lingshan didn't ask anything, nodded, and drove to Meixin Manor. Yi Mo then gave Zhao Tianlei a healing pill. Zhao Tianlei swallowed the pill in one gulp without hesitation. After a while, he felt that his injuries were slowly recovering. He was immediately extremely surprised. He had never heard of this kind of elixir before. Heal well, Yi Mo said lightly, and then he found a room to practice. Around noon, Liao Qing's injuries had mostly recovered and he could move freely. Yi Mo lost another spiritual energy to her. Does healing have to come from this place? A trace of blush appeared on Liao Qing's originally pale face. I didn't know whether Yi Mo was suppressed several times while healing his injuries intentionally or unintentionally. My technique is absolutely authentic. There is no doubt that the effect will be better without wearing clothes. Do you want to try it? Yi Mo said seriously. Then he really stretched out his hands. Liao Qing knocked his hand off. I haven't taken enough advantage yet, Liao Qing said angrily. She wasn't really angry, so she changed the subject and asked, what happened to the sword you had before? Just kill an 8 with one sword. It can even move on its own. This completely subverted her understanding. Even a grandmaster couldn't do it. You can think of it as a high-tech weapon. Yimo's sword control skills weren't just for the sake of showing off. One is to scare some people and save them from trouble. Second, of course it is for Liao Qing. But the more familiar I become with Liao Qing, Yimo was even more unable to express what was in his heart. I always feel that the time is not ripe, and if I speak out, there will probably be no results. Is there such a weapon? Liao Qing obviously didn't believe it. I researched it myself. Yimo decided not to reveal the matter of cultivating immortality to Liao Qing yet. He planned to find another way, so he said, "Sister Liao Qing, your strength is too weak. If I didn't arrive in time today, you might have to explain this. You are too perverted. Innate will kill you whenever she says." Liao Qing thought that since he got to know Yimo, no matter who he met, it seemed that Yimo could face them calmly and completely see where his limits were. "That's because my skills are much more powerful than yours. Do you want to learn them and I can teach them to you?" Yimo asked. "It doesn't make much sense to modify the exercises at this time." Liao Qing shook his head. Modifying the exercises means practicing all over again, which is obviously a waste of time. It means a lot. When you return to Binjiang Mansion, you can compete with Yang Siqi. You may not be her opponent now, although Yang Siqi made a breakthrough in Qi training not long ago. But in terms of internal strength, Liao Qing is deeper. But under the influence of his spiritual consciousness, Liao Qing was still unable to hit Yang Siqi. "You look down on me so much." Liao Qing was a little unhappy. Yang Siqi was not above Huang level before. After following Yimo, even if she learned Yimo's skills, there was no way she could not defeat her in less than a year. It's not contempt, but absolute confidence. Just like now, you should know that I haven't broken through innate yet, but killing innate is not much harder than killing a chicken. Yimo's current aura value is not weaker than innate's in terms of intensity. An ordinary innate can't even catch one of his blows. Liao Qing did not doubt Yimo's strength, and she also knew that Yimo's cultivation techniques were definitely not simple. She could also see that Yimo really wanted to become stronger, and she could also see what Yimo was thinking. It's just that she knows Yimo too well. She couldn't convince herself that there were so many women around Yimo. So in the end he shook his head and said, "Yimo, I think it's pretty good now. Now that I have Qi and blood pills, I think it won't be long before I can break through the heaven grade. There is no need to change my skills." "Okay, I won't force you." Yimo heard the hidden meaning of Liao Qing's words. I felt a little disappointed. But it wasn't too confusing. Zhao Lingshan has negotiated with Cheng Ying and has now begun the star exploration plan. There is the Zhao family's Tianyu entertainment. It also saves the time to build awareness in the early stage. Now Yimo only needs to wait for Cheng Ying to send someone to shoot the video, lie at home and check it, and then let Cheng Ying and others negotiate. And there are enough spirit stones now. The progress will naturally be greatly accelerated. Then you take a rest and I'll take you back later. Yimo smiled slightly and then exited the room. Afternoon. Yimo sent Liao Qing back to Binjiang Mansion. Then he took Yang Siqi to the Jindy Washington Mansion and asked her to live with Yi Qingmei so that she could be taken care of. In the next few days, Yimo and Zhao Xiaohan practiced the immortal golden body while browsing videos sent to him by Cheng Ying. Zhao Lingshan also acted vigorously and resolutely. In just 3 days, she recruited thousands of people and traveled to various parts of the country to guard major universities. Tens of thousands of videos were posted in 3 days. Almost 1 in every 100 people has spiritual roots, but the quality of the spiritual roots is not good, and most of them are white spiritual roots. Zillingen still hasn't found one. There are 3 Wangling roots. Yimo immediately asked Yu Mengyao to go and talk. May 11th. At this moment, the recovery value of the immortal body has been pushed to 30 by Yimo. Yimo tested it again and found that a wound of 1 to 1 centimeter would only take 3 seconds to recover. This recovery works from the inside out. That said, even if Yimo's heart ruptures, he can recover in a few seconds. This is only 30. It's hard for Yimo to imagine whether it would be truly immortal if it were pushed to 100. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Yimo drove back to Tianhe apartment. After spending 2 hours with Liu Baijin, Yimo returned to his room. It didn't take long before it disappeared. Return to the mine. Yi Mo went directly to the mine. On the way, the miners who saw Yi Mo greeted him one after another. When they arrived at the entrance of the passage, Xiao Wen and others hurried over. Yi Mo, something is not right, Xiao Wen said gloomily when he saw Yi Mo. What's wrong? Yi Mo asked. Since you left yesterday, until now, less than 500 people have handed over spirit stones to us. I just asked people to inquire about it, and many people directly handed over spirit stones to Shachi. Xiao Wen said quickly. Well, let them go. We'll go directly to Shachi's base camp in a few days. Yi Mo didn't care. No matter what the means, they are all vulnerable in the face of absolute strength. It is now October 7th, and on October 15th at the latest, Cheng Ying and Yang Xiqi will have a baby. That's just 1 week. Don't make it too easy to kill Shachi when the time comes. Shachi has more than 20 late-stage Qi practitioners around him now. Yi Mo, are you really sure? Xiao Wen naturally did not doubt Yi Mo's strength. If it was one-on-one, Shachi would definitely not be Yi Mo's opponent. But it would be unrealistic to directly destroy Shachi's base camp. Just wait and see the good show. Yi Mo patted his shoulder, and then continued, I'll go buy something and come back later. After saying that, Yi Mo took out his spiritual energy sword and flew towards the mine entrance. Yi Mo finally decided to refine the violent spirit pill by himself. It's safer this way. As for Luo Yubu, let's wait until next time to practice. In order not to arouse any suspicion from others, Yi Mo bought Baolingdan and other spiritual herbs and visited several stores. The main reason for Baolingdan is that 7-star leaf is relatively rare, but other herbs are also common. Of course, the mine shop followed the principle of killing pigs, so Yi Mo still spent a lot of spirit stones. Finally, Yi Mo came to Beibao Pavilion. When Zhu Xingyan from Beibao Pavilion saw Yi Mo arriving, his eyes suddenly became bright. Brother Yi, welcome. Yi Mo is definitely a big customer for him. Don't neglect it. Boss Zhu, I wonder if you have any elixirs cultivated by martial artist. Yi Mo was made a little uncomfortable by his exaggerated tone. What do you want with the elixirs cultivated by martial artist? Zhu Xingyan asked curiously. Of course it is useful. I have asked other stores, but the price is too high, so I want to ask you. Yi Mo said. He actually didn't ask anyone else, mainly because he wanted to lower the price. The price of martial artists' cultivation elixir must be high in the mine. You have to go back to the sect first and then go to the nearby market to buy it. It is too time-consuming and the price is not high. Who will buy it? Zhu Xingyan said immediately. Understood, this is a long-term purchase, and each purchase is in huge quantities. Boss Zhu, if you can help me buy it, you can give me a price. As long as you can buy it. Yi Mo now earns a lot of spiritual stones every day. Even if only 500 people turn in spiritual stones next, there are still 2,500 spiritual stones in one day. Of course, Yi Mo couldn't keep it all to himself. But there are still 1,000 or 2,000 spirit stones every day. So there is no need to worry about spiritual stones. Besides, after killing Shachi, it will be a huge sum of money. To be honest, the elixirs cultivated by martial artists are very cheap. One spiritual stone can buy at least 10, but it is very inconvenient to buy. Not to mention the long journey, there will be certain dangers, so the travel expenses. Zhu Xingyan touched his chin and fell into deep thought. Boss Zhu, do you think this will work? I will buy 10,000 spirit stones every time, just for one spirit stone. As long as you agree, I can pay 10,000 spirit stones now. Yi Mo was too lazy to whine. He took out a storage bag directly, which contained exactly 10,000 spirit stones. Good. Seeing 10,000 spirit stones, Zhu Xingyan's eyes almost popped out of his head. He didn't mention a word about why Yi Mo wanted the martial artist pill and immediately agreed. How long will it take to buy it back? Yi Mo then asked. 5 days, if nothing happens, I will definitely buy it for you in 5 days. Zhu Xingyan put the spirit stone away and immediately promised. The problems with the violent pill spirit grass and the Qi blood pill have been resolved. Yi Mo will have nothing to do next. Practice in the mine every day. And he doesn't have to hand in the spirit stones, because this month's spirit stones have been handed in advance. So in addition to practicing every day, he just sleeps. His cultivation level is also slowly improving. 5 days later, the spiritual energy value unexpectedly exceeded 46 points. At noon, while Yimo was practicing, Zhu Xingyan's message suddenly sounded in his mind. He said that the martial artist elixir had been purchased and asked him to come and pick it up. Yimo was very surprised when he heard Zhu Xingyan's voice, because his current location is at least 20 miles away from Zhu Xingyan. As far as he knows, the spiritual consciousness can extend to 5 miles in the early stage of foundation building, 10 miles in the middle stage, and 20 miles in the later stage. System task exploration can only be effective for women. So Yimo didn't know Zhu Xingyan's true cultivation level. Unexpectedly, it was still in the late stage of foundation building. Quickly arriving at the Beibao Pavilion, Zhu Xingyan threw a storage bag to Yimo and said, "It's exactly 10,000 pieces. Count them." Yimo didn't count them, but took out a few to check. After a moment, Yimo frowned and couldn't help but ask, "Boss Zhu, what is the name of this elixir?" Yimo discovered that this martial artist elixir was very different from the Feng family's qi and blood elixir. Although they are all red. But the Feng family's elixir is red with purple in it. If you look closely, it is obviously darker. Qi and blood pill, Zhu Xingyan replied. Is this the only kind of elixir that martial artist practices? Yimo didn't expect that the names were the same. It's not that there is only one kind, it's just that this qi and blood pill is recognized as the best pill. Other pills either have poor medicinal properties or have serious side effects. Zhu Xingyan saw Yimo's expression was wrong and thought he was lying to him, so he continued, "Don't worry, Zhu, I'm definitely the most honest person in business. You can ask anyone at will. This qi blood pill knows there are quite a few people. Of course I trust Boss Zhu. I'm just curious, if this is qi and blood pill, what is the name of this pill?" After Yimo finished speaking, he took out the 3 qi and blood pills given to him by Feng Zhonghe. Heart-eating pill? No, I'm sorry, whose fool is this? He actually used heart-eating grass to refine such a low-level red soul pill. Zhu Xingyan grabbed the red soul pill and stamped his feet in anger. What? Yimo's eyes flashed. This is both the heart-eating pill and the red soul pill. The name doesn't sound like a good thing. Heart-eating grass, this is the heart-eating grass. Zhu Xingyan didn't seem to hear Yimo's words and beat his chest as if he had lost 100 million. What is the use of heart-eating grass? Yimo asked again, his voice getting louder. Heart-eating grass, as the name suggests, has the effect of devouring the mind. Once you take heart-eating grass, you will become a walking zombie. Some evil cultivators will use the effect of heart-eating grass to specifically control others and refine them into puppets. Of course, this is one of the functions of the heart-eating grass. The heart-eating grass can devour the mind, and it can also devour the inner demons. As you know, when refining the gold core, you only need to add an appropriate amount of heart-eating grass. This kind of condensing the gold core will greatly increase the probability of breaking through the gold core. Quote, condensation gold core Yimo naturally knows. It is the elixir that increases the probability of breaking through the gold core. Breaking through the gold core will produce primordial spirit, and it is also the first time to experience the inner demon tribulation. Many people, when they break through the gold core, do so because they fail to resist the erosion of their inner demons and eventually become possessed. Boss Zhu, what will happen if someone takes this red soul pill? Yimo understood. There seemed to be a huge conspiracy hidden in the Feng family's sale of the red soul pill. Then it depends on who is making the pill. As long as the person who makes the pill has a thought, the person who takes this pill will explode and die. Moreover, he cannot resist the order of the person who made the pill. Of course, this red soul pill is infused with the heart-eating pill. The dose of grass is very small, you have to take it in large amounts. Hearing Zhu Xingyan's answer, Yimo's heart sank. The Feng family sold a large amount of red soul pills. He didn't know if the Feng family knew about it, but Lin Fan was definitely involved, and it was very likely that he refined the red soul pills. If someone takes a large amount of red soul pill, is there any solution? Yimo then asked. Simple, just kill the person who made the pill. When refining the red soul pill, the person who made the pill will inject the soul mark into the pill. As soon as the person who made the pill dies, the soul mark will naturally disappear. Zhu Xingyan explained. At this time, he was very curious about where Yi Mo got this elixir, so he asked, elixirs like this are usually only given to mortals. Yi Mo, how did you get this elixir? Where else can I find it? Of course I found it in the miner's storage bag. Yi Mo said immediately without even thinking about it. He has killed so many miners and found some elixirs, which is normal. Zhu Xingyan didn't have too much doubt. Boss Zhu, looking at the expression on your chest and chest just now, is this heart-eating grass very rare? Yi Mo asked. It's not only rare, it's almost extinct. It has a price but no market. Even if you have a spiritual stone, you can't buy it. Zhu Xingyan became extremely angry when he thought that someone actually used the heart-eating grass to refine the red soul pill. His foundation building is almost complete now. If he obtains a heart-eating grass, he will definitely be able to break through the gold core. Yi Mo was secretly happy. The Feng family has sold so many red soul pills, so obviously there is no shortage of heart-eating grass. If you can get it yourself, even if you can't use it now, you should be able to sell it for a lot of spiritual stones. However, Yi Mo really couldn't figure it out. Whether it was the heart-eating grass or the 7-star leaf, the Feng family, or Lin Fan, how did he get it? The system said that Blue Star's spiritual veins were exhausted and it was impossible to cultivate spiritual grass. Could it be that someone can transmigrate to the Immortal Cultivation world? But even if someone can transmigrate, heart-eating grass and 7-star leaf are extremely rare spiritual herbs, and they can't be moved even if they want to. Can't figure it out. In the end, Yi Mo stopped thinking about it and asked Zhu Xingyan again, Boss Zhu, when can you help me buy qi and blood pills next time? 10,000 pills are not enough. In the past few days, I have asked people to help you find them in the markets near the sect. You may not be able to buy many in a short period of time. Let's wait for 10 days or more. Quote. Okay. Yi Mo nodded. 10,000 qi and blood pills should be enough for the time being. Yi Mo didn't want to sell the qi blood pill nationwide, it was mainly used to bribe a big family. Take your time later. After collecting the pills, Yi Mo left the Beibao pavilion. Then he walked towards the mine entrance. As soon as he walked into the mine entrance, Yi Mo's eyes suddenly narrowed. When he came out alone, he was naturally wary of everything around him, and his consciousness was always unfolding. So he walked into the mine entrance and found that many people gathered in many passages near the mine entrance. Not only inside the mine, but also outside the mine, people began to pour into the mine entrance. No need to think about it, these people must be here for you. There were 3 teams in total, forming a pincer attack on him. Each team has 5 late-stage Qi trainers and more than 50 mid-stage Qi trainers. In the middle stage of Qi training, Yi Mo didn't care. Even if he couldn't beat him, he could still leave with his sword. The most important thing is the later stage of Qi training. As long as these people are dealt with, there is nothing to worry about. Yi Mo thought and took out the silver bow. Then Yujian flew eastward. Before they formed a complete siege, Yi Mo had to deal with one team. The team on the east side was led by Hong Yang and Kering. It just so happened that the old and new grudges were settled together. As soon as Yi Mo took action, Hong Yang and Guan Guan also discovered that Yi Mo was flying towards them. Hong Yang's face suddenly showed a bloodthirsty look. He hates Yi Mo so much. It turned out that he was Scarlu's #1 subordinate, and his life was extremely comfortable. Now he joins Sha Qi, but he is inferior in every way. It's not because of Yi Mo, how could he end up like this? Brothers, the time has come for revenge. The time has come for us to prove ourselves. Whether we can hold our heads high in the mine in the future depends on your battle. Hong Yang shouted angrily. The people he brought were all with Scarlu in the past. Naturally, he has a strong hatred for Yi Mo. Hong Yang didn't need to say anything, everyone rushed towards Yi Mo crazily. Less than a mile away, they met soon. Run in front during the middle stage of Qi training. However, Hong Yang and the other 5 were hiding among the crowd. This is also to prevent him from being locked by Yi Mo in the first place. Without any words, everyone started to attack Yi Mo. The magic talisman cuts through the dim passage. With so many attacks, even Yi Mo couldn't bear them all. He had no choice but to dodge, then draw his bow and shoot. The power of Yimo's spiritual energy arrow at this moment is naturally impossible to resist in the middle stage of Qi training. Once it is locked by Yimo, there will be no place to hide. 3 people can be taken care of in one go. Yimo was naturally hit by many spells and talismans. Especially when Hong Yang and 5 others attacked simultaneously, it was difficult for Yimo to avoid them one by one. Before long, his body was covered with scars. Fortunately, the immortal body was powerful enough, and although the injuries gradually increased, he recovered quickly. Boo-hoo-hoo. As Yimo quickly drew the bow. During the middle stage of Qi training, the number of people falling to the ground gradually increased. Most of it was quickly lost. Many people are already frightened. Why? Yimo was obviously hit by him and was seriously injured. Why was he still standing? But he became more and more brave. At this moment, everyone felt as if Yimo was unkillable. Brothers, don't be afraid, Yimo is at the end of his strength, kill him. Hong Yang shouted again. At this moment, his whereabouts have already changed drastically. He had fought against Yimo. At that time, Yimo was no match for him. Why did Yimo become so terrifying in just a few days? But no one answered him. As the number of people in the middle stage of Qi training became smaller and smaller, many people gave up. Yimo's injuries have basically reached a normal state. He had no scruples at this point. Start casting 3 arrows in one. Instantly hit a late-stage Qi practitioner. We can't fight, everyone, run away. A man in the middle of Qi training was completely frightened. Crazy escape. Seeing someone fleeing, the rest of the Qi training period suddenly became disheartened. Wherever they still had the confidence they had just now, they all fled away. I don't believe it. Hong Yang was angry. He held a spear in his hand and rushed directly towards Yimo. A few months ago, he saw Yimo recruited into the mine. At that time, Yimo was still in the early stages of Qi training and was as weak as could be. Why has it only been a few months? Why did Yimo become so powerful? Hong Yang seems to be unable to accept this fact. But the fact is the fact. No matter how angry Hong Yang is, nothing will change. Puff! A spiritual arrow instantly penetrated his eyebrows. Seeing this scene, there is no fighting will left in the remaining care. Without hesitation, he put away the spiritual weapon in his hand and said loudly, I am willing to surrender. I don't need it. Yimo sneered, drew his bow and shot an arrow, all in one motion. Pong! Guan Wei fell straight back, his eyes widened, and he refused to close his eyes. The remaining 2 people fled immediately with hair on their backs. I just thought of escaping now, it's too late. Whoosh! Yimo shot 2 arrows in a row without any accident, and the 2 of them were killed instantly. At this time, the other 2 teams arrived belatedly. Yimo ignored them, quickly put away the storage bag on the ground, and then flew towards his mine. Rao Xing and others came to Hong Yang's body. His face was terrifyingly gloomy. Because they still have to lead a group of mid-stage Qi practitioners, the speed is much slower. By the time they arrived, the battle was over. He didn't even see how Yimo killed Hong Yang. Go back first. Rao Xing did not continue to chase Yimo. With Yimo's fighting strength, although he didn't think that Hong Yang and the others could kill Yimo. But Yimo defeated Hong Yang in such a short period of time. This incident also exceeded his expectations. Yimo returned to his mine and cleaned up the trophies. There were not many spiritual stones, especially for Hong Yang and Guan Guan. They had very few spiritual stones. Obviously, in order to seek refuge with Shachi, they handed over all their spiritual stones. But fortunately, they have many spiritual weapons with them. Especially Hong Yang's shield. With this shield, there is no need to worry about attacks from monks in the middle stage of Qi training. After cleaning up the loot, Yimo started practicing. He didn't even tell Xiao Wen about being besieged today. Xiao Wen has also been preoccupied these days. Because Yimo didn't make any move, many people sided with Shachi. There are fewer and fewer people coming to hand over spiritual stones. According to his idea, even if he did not attack Shachi's base camp, he should still suppress some miners. In this case, he could also obtain some spiritual stones. However, Yimo just asked him to wait a few more days. There was nothing he could do. Shachi's base camp. Rao Xing returned with everyone and then reported to Shachi. In addition to him, many middle-stage Qi trainers who had escaped before also returned to Sha Qi's base camp and recounted the battle with Yi Mo one by one. Of course, that is somewhat exaggerated. You are all a bunch of trash. There are so many of you and you can't even kill a single Yi Mo. What use do I need from you? Sha Qi was furious and smashed the wooden table in front of him with one palm. At this time, Yi Mo was besieged alone. He really thought he was sure of it. However, what he didn't know was that Yi Mo's spiritual consciousness was far beyond the later stage of Qi training. As soon as Yi Mo entered the mine, he discovered their ambush. If he was really surrounded by more than a dozen late-stage Qi practitioners and more than 100 mid-stage Qi practitioners, Yi Mo would probably have no choice but to escape desperately. Sha Tu, how about we attack Yi Mo's base camp directly and fight him to the death? Said one of his subordinates who was in the late stage of Qi training. To be honest, although Yi Mo is indeed very strong, with so many of them, can't they kill just one Yi Mo? You can't even deal with Yi Mo, so you still want to go to his base camp. Sha Qi slapped this subordinate on the head. Doesn't he want to attack Yi Mo? But if they really go to attack, he will definitely lead the team. He was also afraid of Yi Mo's spiritual energy arrows. Yi Mo's spiritual energy arrows are also out of control. Scar Lu couldn't even hold an arrow. If he had gone, I'm afraid the consequences would be the same. Then what should we do? Should we let Yi Mo continue to be so rampant? After being slapped, the subordinate felt aggrieved. But I didn't dare to have an attack. How is it possible? Don't worry, I am practicing a very powerful spell now. I will succeed in practicing it soon. I will definitely kill Yi Mo with my own hands. Sha Qi said murderously. Boss, Flame Dragon roars, do you really want to succeed in cultivation? After hearing Sha Qi's words, everyone had no doubts, but looked excited. It's coming soon. The only thing left is to unite. Give me a few more days, not to mention little Yi Mo. I will lead you to sweep the entire fifth mine. Sha Qi was full of confidence. A few people were surprised, their eyes suddenly flashed with hope. He knew that Sha Qi had practiced the Flame Dragon Roar and could already cast 10 fire dragons. The power of the 10 fire dragons is already very strong. If they can be united into one, they will be absolutely unstoppable. So, don't worry, just wait patiently. Well, I'll go out and you guys can guard the mine. After saying that, Sha Qi left the mine with his sword. Not long after, he arrived at the mouth of the mine. At this moment, he had a bitter look on his face, and he was not as confident as before. This is so up. How can Yi Mo be so good at beating 10 dragons into one bullshit? I can't even combine 2 dragons now. I have to think of a way. Sha Qi was silent for a moment, and then walked towards the attic not far away. Entering the attic, a disciple stopped him. Sha Qi immediately explained his purpose of coming, saying that he wanted Deacon Lu. The disciple asked him to wait for a moment, then returned quickly and took him to the second floor. In the living room on the second floor, Lu Yan was sitting on the main seat, tasting the spiritual tea in her hand. Deacon Lu, please save me. As soon as he saw Lu Yan, Sha Qi suddenly looked sad, as if he was about to cry. Boss Sha, are you kidding me? Lu Yan put down the spirit tea and chuckled twice. How dare I joke with you? You have also seen that Yi Mo kills Scar Lu just like killing a chicken. There is no way he will let me go. Sha Qi understood that even if he surrendered, Yi Mo would not let him go. There is no way out for him. Then how do you want me to save you? Lu Yan asked with interest. I hope Deacon Lu can come forward to mediate. It would be great if Deacon Lu could take action to deal with Yi Mo. Sha Qi said immediately. Haha, Sha Qi, after all you have been in the Fanlong mine for decades. You don't know the rule that the mine does not support idlers. Deacon Lu sneered twice. In the mine, strength must be king. Since you, Sha Qi, can't do it, just find someone else. Of course I understand. I have less than half a year left to complete my 30-year mining period. Deacon Lu, if you don't want to mediate, you can just transfer me to another mining area. Sha Qi naturally knew that Lu Yan would not help him. His purpose is actually to leave the 5th mining area. He has no desire to fight for hegemony now. As long as he survives for half a year, he can leave this place, so there is no need to fight for life or death. The sect does not allow the mining area to be changed at will. Understood. I still have 100,000 spirit stones here, Deacon Lu, please help me. After saying that, Shachi took out a storage bag and placed it in front of Lu Yan. You are more sensible, okay. Seeing that you have worked hard over the years, I will make an exception. You go to the first floor to complete the formalities, and you can go to other mining areas immediately. Lu Yan smiled slightly, stretched out her hand, and put away the storage bag. Thank you, Deacon Lu. Shachi immediately saluted and left the living room immediately. Lu Yan glanced at him lightly, then picked up the teacup again. Until Shachi went downstairs. Lu Yan ordered a disciple outside the living room to call Yi Mo over. If Shachi leaves, then she will support another person to take the position of the big boss. Yi Mo naturally became her best choice. Taking a sip of tea, Lu Yan stood up slowly and murmured to herself, "It's almost November, why is the weather still so hot?" Shachi completed the formalities and then took a disciple to his wooden house to prepare for acceptance. As long as there was no damage to the wooden house, Shachi could leave. Not long after Shachi left the attic, Yi Mo arrived. At this time, he was still a little curious and didn't know what Lu Yan wanted to do with him. Come to the second floor. Lu Yan was still sitting in the main seat in the living room. She waved her hand and signaled Yi Mo to find a chair and sit down. Yi Mo glanced at Lu Yan, then immediately withdrew his gaze and came to the chair at the right end. Deacon Lu, what do you want from me? Yi Mo looked directly at Lu Yan, but did not dare to move his eyes. Because Lu Yan wore very cool clothes. When he first walked into the living room, he had only one thought in his mind, so white, so good. This is a trick. As a deacon of the sect, shouldn't Lu Yan wear the sect's unique Taoist uniform in broad daylight? Yi Mo thought to himself. What's so weird about this sleeveless short skirt? Also, because the fur buttons were not fully buttoned, the belt was also loose. Is it really that hot? Shachi just asked me to be transferred from the 5th mine, and I agreed, so now the 5th mine has lost a big boss. Yi Mo, I think you are very good, so I plan to let you take this position. Lu Yan straightened her hair, moved her position, and faced Yi Mo. And when she moved, the opening that was not fully closed suddenly revealed looming, smooth skin. Yi Mo swallowed secretly and almost didn't hear clearly what Lu Yan said, but he quickly realized what he was saying and said with a look of disbelief, Shachi left. This was really beyond Yi Mo's expectation. Shachi actually ran away secretly. At this time, he was still a little upset. When Shachi left, wouldn't he also take his spiritual stone with him? Well, how about it, you're not interested in the big boss's sense of position? Lu Yan nodded and asked. Of course, Yi Mo said without hesitation. Even if Lu Yan doesn't appoint him, he will kill Shachi sooner or later. Okay, I'll take you to Shachi's mine later and declare you to be the big boss of the East District. Lu Yan smiled with satisfaction, but quickly retracted her smile and continued, now that you have become the big boss, I have to tell you about the division of labor. There are more than 1,000 miners in the East District. You can at least get it every day. I have received more than 6,000 spiritual stones, and I only want half of them. Are you okay with that? Of course I have no objection, but Deacon Lu, if I take down the Western District as well, how will it count? Yi Mo asked immediately. The East and West Districts do not interfere with each other. You'd better not do this. Lu Yan frowned slightly. Although she is the person in charge of the 5th mine, the big boss of the Western District also has a background. Even Lu Yan's share in the Western District was not much. Clear, Yi Mo nodded. At first, Yi Mo didn't know much about the Western District, but in recent days, he had heard about it. The big boss of the Western District has a foundation building monk behind him. Okay, let's go to the mine now. After Lu Yan finished speaking, she wanted to change clothes, but as soon as she reached the door of the room, she suddenly turned around and said, Shachi will leave Fanlong Mine soon. Once he leaves, he will most likely succeed in building the foundation. What's the meaning? Yi Mo didn't understand. Shachi is quite smart, and he will retaliate. Once he succeeds in building the foundation, he will most likely join the sect, and he may return to the Fanlong Mine. Lu Yan pursed her lips and smiled, then said, You owe me a favor. Shachi should still be at home now. After saying that, Lu Yan walked into the room. Yi Mo's expression changed slightly, and then he hurried downstairs. Then quickly move your sword to the wooden house group. Yi Mo was not afraid. Shachi broke through the foundation to take revenge on him, mainly because he took a fancy to the spirit stone on Shachi's body. As a big boss, he will definitely have a lot of spiritual stones on his body. Yi Mo quickly came to the wooden house group and unfolded his consciousness. Yi Mo quickly discovered Shachi. At this time Shachi was in his house. The sect disciples also completed their inspection. Shachi said goodbye to him with a smile on his face. Just when Shachi was preparing to wield his sword and head to other mining areas, he suddenly felt a dangerous aura coming towards him. There was no time to check, and his figure immediately flashed away. Boom! I saw a spiritual energy arrow passing in front of him. With a bang, the door behind him shattered. Yi Mo. Shachi's eyes were slightly closed and his cheeks were gloomy. How did Yi Mo arrive? Shachi quickly thought that Lu Yan must have betrayed him. Rub her mother-in-law BCH. BCH. Shachi's heart was filled with rage, and he had already scolded Lu Yan's 18 generations of ancestors inside and outside. Yi Mo, I'm about to leave the 5th mine, and you still refuse to let me go. Shachi shouted loudly, then quickly changed his hands. In an instant, the surrounding air heated up rapidly. Boom boom. Auras transformed into fire dragons, roaring towards Yi Mo in unison. I never said I wouldn't let you leave, but before leaving, leave the spirit stone behind. Yi Mo looked at the 10 fire dragons and didn't pay too much attention, but still took out the shield. Then, without waiting for Shachi's answer, the bowstring was fully drawn and the spiritual energy arrow was shot out quickly. Boom! Shachi immediately controlled the fire dragon to block the spiritual energy arrow. However, the fire dragon was directly penetrated by the spiritual energy arrow and was not blocked at all. Something's wrong. Is this Tamad practicing Qi? Shachi quickly took back all the fire dragons and resisted them. He knew that Yi Mo was very strong, but when he actually fought with Yi Mo, he found that he still underestimated Yi Mo. No wonder Scarlu was killed by an arrow. At this time, he felt that Yi Mo's cultivation was completely beyond the perfection of Qi training. But how is this possible? You can't stop it. Yi Mo sneered and the spiritual energy arrow shot away again. Lu Yan, in the next life, I will definitely kill you BCH. Shachi knew that he was unable to resist, so he could only raise his head and roar, venting his grief and anger. Puff! The spiritual arrow passed through his brain. There is no way around it. Shachi's body slowly fell down. His eyes still showed extreme unwillingness. Yi Mo felt happy and immediately went to take down Shachi's storage bag. However, at this moment, he suddenly felt a breeze blowing behind him. A beautiful figure appeared in front of him. Immediately afterwards, a sweet sound came into Yi Mo's ears. I'm going to you for a penny, and I asked you to scold me. Did your mother adjust it to a random state when she gave birth to you? If you don't give birth to a good person, why did you give birth to a beast? This figure is none other than Lu Yan. Shachi's scolding just now completely angered Lu Yan. She opened her eyes angrily and punched and kicked Shachi's body. Although Shachi felt cold, he was not relieved at all. I stepped on it for a full 3 minutes, and then exploded it with fireballs for another 2 minutes. It wasn't until Shachi didn't even have a piece of hawthorn left that he stopped. He took a deep breath, then smiled, turned to look at Yi Mo, and said in a soft voice, I'm not usually like this. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.